Hey guys, and welcome back to the Path to Exile Podcast, episode 14, partnered with Mobalytics. I am Cal Torak, and joining me per usual is Miso Shiro and Dead Rabbit. And we got a special guest this week, Farham. But before we dive into our conversation with him, just a reminder, we have a audio-only format on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you don't want to watch on YouTube, you can check us out on those platforms. But hey, Farham, how you doing, man?
All good, all good. How are you guys?
I mean, it's been it's a good time to be, I guess, a Path of Exile gamer right now. I'm not even someone who's super excited about PoE1, but I'm excited. I'm not a gig of PoE1 fan, but even now, it's so exciting. Now we're in this swing of every 4 months or 2 months we get a new Path of Exile 1 league and then Path of Exile 2 league. We're starting to get that taste of what it's gonna be like. It's a pretty time-consuming life as an ARPG gamer right now because I still wanted to do a lot in PoE 2. I had started a solo self-found run a week ago, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And but now I'm just playing PoE 1 and warming up for the league. So I don't know, I'm doing good. What about you guys?
Research has not been stopping for us. I wish I could have had a look at PoE 1, but it'll all be a big surprise for me on Friday, I guess. I've looked at nothing but spreadsheets.
That's good though. That's good.
You see, they're nuking PoE1.
I know that they've introduced currency in a way that looks like it might work. I know they've done that.
It's just turning into PoE2 now. They're just putting in PoE 2 skin over it and calling it a day. It's over.
So how long until the games merge then? Do we think 6 months?
Probably when the game actually comes out.
Wait, is that PoE 3 then? PoE 1 plus PoE 2?
That's some quick math.
That's too big. The numbers are too big there for me as a PoE 2 gamer. Yeah. I can't. My IQ is too low.
Yeah,
it becomes PoE to me once PoE 1. Maybe we could start the PoE 1 conversation now. We want, but once we get WASD in PoE 1, because every time I go back to PoE 1, it's the biggest decline for me and my enjoyment of it is having to readjust to click the move. And I still once I get used to it, it takes an hour or two, but once I get used to it, it's still not as I don't know, I just get way more immersed with WASD. Well, if we ever get WASD support in PoE 1, it's going to be wonderful.
I always say this, but I don't think it's going to work.
Yes.
I don't think
it's. It depends on the build you play. It depends. It would have to depend on the build.
No, you can't WASD in Piano Flask. If it doesn't matter what build it is.
Mage Blood is the WASD enabler.
Yeah, without you need Mage Blood. It's unless you tell everybody you need Mage Blood, then it's not going to work. And also, most builds use a movement skill to move anyways. So you're not using your mouse, you're not clicking anywhere anyways. So you're always spamming a button anyways.
You still click a lot to move in the game. It is almost...
Yeah, for sure.
It's more than you would think, yes, but it still wouldn't be. It would be kind of weird, but then also, again, at the end of the day, you can't flash pianos while you're WSDing.
Isn't there other ways besides Mage Blood to automate it?
There's tinctures, but they're not as smooth as you would think, because they have conditions. It's you use this whenever you get hit by an elemental ailment, or use this whenever the flask is full, or use this whenever whatever. There's conditions to it, so it's not just always automatic.
Those sound an awful lot like charms to me.
I also just think completely detached from that if it's gonna be working or not conversation. I just think they are not going to do it anyway. I don't think they want to move the game in a certain way where they are going to be we are going to now adjust the 12-year game to make it work in also WASD. I just think they are going to say this is one of the distinguishing factors between the two games, that the one is kind of designed for WASD and the other one is not. That's not me dooming or whatever, but I've had people in my chat say a lot that, oh god, I will start playing PoE 1 when WASD comes, and most of the time for the last 6 months or whenever that happened, I always said I don't think it's ever gonna come into PoE 1. I don't think it is, because it's two different games. Just because, for example, async trade makes sense for me, but there would.
So my question is, I haven't played Last Epoch, but didn't Last Epoch introduce WASD deeper into development, and doesn't it play more like Path of Exile 1 in a sense? I could be completely wrong here, but
they did, and I hate it.
Okay,
I turned
so
it off immediately.
that's a good comparison then. Okay.
But I know there's some people that do like it. I know there's some people who do like it, but I hate it because
Gotcha.
it's not, because you know how in Path of Exile 2 you can walk while attacking, right? You can walk or run or whatever while attacking, and it feels very smooth. In Last Epoch, Path of Exile, your character completely stops. So every time you press an attack button, your character stops in place, and that just feels really weird to me. So I turned it off immediately.
I guess so. I'm playing Cyclone, so that's why I kind of want WASD. You don't stop when you're attacking, you know. So I guess I want the Cyclone dream of just WASDing through the map, but I guess we're not there yet.
Unfortunately, not.
But no, I mean, I'm still enjoying myself playing, you know, with click to move. It's just that's the biggest disconnect for me right now. I feel when I swap between the two games is I just really like WASD. I don't know, it just gets me more immersed. It's just like it's an immersion thing personally. It has nothing to do with like, is the gameplay necessarily better with or without it? I get like immersed into what I'm doing, you know? I don't know.
I think it's also a thing of if you have it now and if you're used to it, it's very, very hard to go back. I think it will always feel very, very weird to go back. Just as an example, I played so many hours of Diablo 2. I know the thing. Haven't.
What's that game? Never heard of it.
I ever mentioned it. And I recently, I think on the second to last season ladder reset or something, I went back to it just to go like through a few acts or whatever, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't because of like just a few months of PoE2, because it's just I don't know what it is. If it's just like a thing about being used to something, and if it's just like I can't do stuff unless I'm used to it. But there's like another factor. I don't know why. WASD is just so much more intuitive or something. I don't know. There's like a weird way of once you have done WASD in an isometric game like that, it's just I can't go back now. It's completely rough. I play right now. I'm playing Fellowship, and even there, I'm still like doing PoE2 move. Oh no, I went back into PoE2 and I was trying to like adjust my camera with right click and stuff. So it's just like once you're used to something, it's super weird.
Yeah, I think going forward, all new ARPGs will probably. Actually, I say that, but then Titan Quest does not have WASD.
I was about to ask, did Twice Quest 2 have WASD? And I
don't think it doesn't, if I recall. It's been a while since I played it, but I don't think it does. So it's like, I feel like all ARPGs should have WASD going forward, given how smoothly it works in Path of Exile 2 and how much people like it. But, you know, that might not be the case.
My first builds, I made sure I could play with just one hand, so I could drink a beer or whatever while I was playing. That was the most important thing to me, was that the mouse movement was still in there, so I could make a build that you could just use your mouse for and just sit and just, you know, drink your beer, cigarette, whatever.
I still want auto walk, like in World of Warcraft or something, where I just had on my mouse button just auto walk, and I could just like, that was one of the most essential things for me. If maybe we get that now in PoE2, and then it's basically an automated build. You just have auto walk and mouse one.
Please
and
no.
I can do the dishes. I can cook some food while I'm doing like T15 maps.
This dude wants to bot the game.
I feel like you could probably play that with Lightning Warp Spark. If you made Lightning Warp Spark, you could probably do that. The exact build that
I'm doing right now, actually.
Oh, is that what you're doing, Lightning Warp Spark?
Yeah, it's actually, I played a Confluence map today with like 100% pack size, overrun, and it was literally, I cast one arc, and I
think I saw that.
Took my hands off the keyboard, and the whole map was just cleared.
I think I saw that. I was watching when I watched you clear one map, and it looked like about 10 seconds. You just zip around the board. Yeah.
Whole map.
That's not enough time to do the dishes, though. So you need to ramp back the DPS to go a bit slower. Sorted.
I mean,
also Red Eye said that Titan Quest 2 does have WSD, so just confirm that.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'm misremembering, because I think if that's the case, then Titan Quest 2 also has the weird thing where you have to like stop and, you know, for your attack, and I probably didn't play WSD for that reason, because it just felt weird.
for sure is just the gold standard now. I think it is actually for upcoming ARPGs or anything new in the ARPG space. I think it's always going to be like, I don't think like the developers in the meetings or whatever. I think it's definitely like talking point number one for them, and then they're just going like, I don't think we can do without it. So unless there's like some very, very cool way or like game design around like click to move or whatever, or like a game design where you have to, because otherwise I don't think there's a reason not to have WASD, because those buttons are just there.
Yeah. Hear that, devs? In the future, any aspiring ARPG devs out there? WASD.
Well,
put it in your game and make it so that you can walk while attacking.
Well, I feel bad because this was just supposed to be a PoE1 talk, not a comparing PoE1 and 2 talk. What are we? Who's all playing the league? I decided I am going to play. I got baited by friends and my Discord. I was thinking about playing or sticking with PoE2 because I was having fun on Solo Self-Found. I want to talk about that later just because Solo Self-Found's actually, I'm having a blast with it. But one of my friends made a joke that I should play Poison Cyclone Assassin. Because Assassin's apparently like one of the worst ascendancies, or at least one of the least paid ones, and I'm Miso and I, like we haven't really got the showcases of the PoE2, but we're Cyclone Andes. Like we always play Cyclone in ARPGs, and we haven't really got to do that in PoE2. So it's just like maybe I'll play Cyclone again. And as I was like, I started looking into the Cyclone Assassin. I was like, oh, this all looks cool. And every time I started talking about it, people are like, no, this is bad. You want to do it this way. No, this is bad. You got to do this way. And that started annoying me, so I've like now committed to it. But then one of my viewers linked me a alcohol video where he was like, "You should not play a assassin with this build," and I linked it to alcohol's teasing. I was like, "Look what your viewers are doing! They're encouraging my viewers to tell me not to play my build." And I talked about the build of alcohol, and he gave me the seal of approval for it. So I guess I am doing a silly ass poison cyclone assassin build.
I mean, Assassin got reworked, right? So there
got reworked,
might not be the worst ascendancy anymore. It looks actually decent.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem people talk about is that it doesn't have the best defensive options, and most people like to use ascendancies for defenses, or at least get a lot of power from ascendancy from the defenses. And well, I was looking into the elusive stuff. Like at first, I was like, maybe I do an elusive cyclone, but like apparently there's a cap on elusive, so I don't know how that would feel. But yeah, we're just gonna do it and see what happens. It can't be worse than my build last league. I did a lightning Tempest Shield build last league, so.
So all three of you are playing PoE1 then?
Yeah, I've been playing PoE1.
There's a few people in my guild that have never played it, and they were like, "Oh, I don't want to play it."
I'm the so
once again,
I'm the only non-tourist in here, or what?
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
No, I would have. I'm like I would have played PoE1. It's just like I have to skip this league because I won't be here for 4 days on exactly launch weekend, and then I take like a 2-week vacation immediately after that. So I wouldn't be here for like the first 3 weeks of the league, and I feel like I might do like a chill playthrough afterwards, like 3 weeks into the league, and I probably just go like SSF or something. But I would have definitely played the league if it wasn't for that. But right now,
start Trade League 3 weeks late. You've got the video series right there.
Oh my god! Wait, that's actually that's not too bad. I guess that's not too bad. But yeah, I skipped the last one because I was still in like a stage where I thought, oh, I kind of need to grow my stream a little bit, and I think I have a very like PoE2 focused audience, and then I was like very I had big FOMO after like a week or something when I saw people play the PoE1 league, because it's just like it's so cool. Still is
every time.
And it is such an amazing game, especially as someone who is just longing for more endgame loop in something like PoE2 and stuff. It's just the absolute best when it comes to endgame loop and actually having like getting addicted to something, because there's just endless things of stuff to do. It's just so good. But yeah, we'll see. I might do like an HCSSF run on PoE2 or something for the remainder, and it will also kind of depend a little bit on how long the PoE2 league will now actually be. I have the very, very big hopium that the next league is gonna be before Christmas.
Oh, you're crazy, dude. You're crazy.
I mean,
Because
I feel like it should be. It's probably gonna be.
I think it should.
Yeah, I don't like. The thing is, like, if they don't, if I don't think they're gonna have it in January. I'm pretty sure they confirmed. It's full
Everyone's depressed and grumpy in
They have
January.
like a full
I think
week,
this one's going to
like,
be a
vacation.
5-month league. I'm predicting a 5-month league, and we're going to have an early.
Oh, but there's no
January
end
release.
game. There's no
Because
end
when
I
they-
game.
think people will be
It was
pissed
a-
off.
No, because if you remember what happened last time, what happened around Christmas? Didn't they do
Well,
a patch around Christmas,
the
and then
thing is-
it ended up like being a big like there was a big bug that was in that patch.
Oh, the
that they
mirror
didn't end up
dupe.
addressing.
There was it the mirror duping thing that was going on in the first league?
Yeah, there was
That
something
happened-
really
that
bad that happened around
it was really
Christmas.
bad,
Like, if it has to happen pre-Christmas and they're forced their time off, I would imagine they would delay until January. That's my concern. Just because I remember what happened last year. Otherwise, like I feel like in terms of having enough content and balance time for it, I think they would have, hopefully. But
I mean,
that's literally my concern.
I don't know if they should like balance it around like the chance that something wrong happens. I think the goal is to make it so there's nothing wrong happening.
I mean, yeah, in an ideal world, but I don't know. When you're running a live service game and you are legally not allowed to work on it for like 2 weeks, like you don't want to launch a patch right before that. Like, so much can go wrong. It's an early access. Like, I'm just, I would not blame them if they delayed till January for those reasons.
I wouldn't blame them, but I also think that people would be mad.
Well, of course, they'll always be mad.
Because, like, so in my mind, I always think that Christmas, winter break is the time you need to put out an update. Because that's when everybody's playing. So you need to put it out before. I was actually giving, because when I played Lost Ark last year, they had no updates for winter break, and I was like giving them so much shit for it. I was like, every single other game has an update, but you guys, and you're wondering why your game has no players right now, and because everybody was just playing something else. Everybody was just like not playing it because all the other games were out. Like if you're talking about like revenue, if you're talking about attention, if you're talking about everything, even player satisfaction, I think that you need to come out with the update before winter break so everybody can play it during winter break.
Well, November's traditionally been the big time for big game releases, isn't it? I think going back. So
yeah, that's my problem is like the timing being early December. Like if you're releasing like mid-November, I feel like that's a lot more like you have plenty of time to like fix the bugs. But if you're like talking early December and then you have I don't know when the holiday they're forced.
I also think that what ended up happening was they had this approach where they did a lot of patches, and one of the patches they made might have messed something up. Right? They were literally patching the game like every 3 days at that time. Was
that at the same time?
It was the 0.1 launch, though, and I mean, it's bound to be fraught with issues, right? It's the
yeah. So now that they're not doing a just like first release, and also not doing like patches and also it wasn't because I don't think they were patching every other day because of the 0.1. They were patching every other day because they were balancing at the time. They were like, gas grenade needs to go. Oh, we need to get this nerf, that nerf. And then people were like really mad. And then now they don't do that anymore. So I think like, given that they're not going to be doing that anymore, it should be fine.
What was the release date?
6th of December.
6th of November,
was it the 6th?
Something like that. Yeah.
6th.
It was December.
Or sorry,
December,
December, yeah. It was like December 6th.
Yeah, for sure. 6th December.
Why do I think it was like the 17th?
No, it was
earlier in the month for sure.
Yeah, I think it originally was slated to be earlier, right? And then it was delayed to December 6th, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was supposed to come out.
I'm very sure. Like I'm 100% sure it was December 6th.
It was supposed to come out in June, I think.
But if PoE 1 League is launching on the 31st and it's supposed to be 2-month cycle, wouldn't that put the timing at early January though?
What? Sorry. So if
PoE 1, it's supposed to be like a 2-month cycle, right?
Yeah.
And if PoE 1's launching in 2 days, wouldn't the 2-month cycle lead to it releasing early January? Early October would be only a month of the PoE 1 league, or early December would be only a month and a week, right? That seems way too soon, right?
I mean,
are they really going to? No. So they're really going to let PoE 1 run for only 5-6 weeks before they release PoE 2 again, or?
Yeah, that's.
How long does a PoE 1 league retain its major player base? Because PoE 2 starts to drop off after about 6 weeks, doesn't it? Really?
Same for PoE 1 though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same for both games. Like maybe there's like a larger core audience, but I think in general, like the main player base drops off around the same for both games.
Yeah,
I would imagine PoE 1 has a bit longer one, just because of the end game.
Yeah, there is a lot more to do, right? It's a lot more engaging content.
It takes you a lot longer to finish your character.
But I mean,
so
like if your argument is this, right?
Per average.
Then we're gonna go into 5 months every single league, because it's supposed to be a 4-month cycle.
Yeah,
that's what I think is going to happen. Is we're going to get like these slight delays that push it just a little bit further back.
Every single league,
a bit, but not forever. But at least while like early access is going on. But even now, even if it was exactly 2 weeks from or 2 months from now, that's still, that'd be what, like.
I just think
you'd be releasing on New Year's. I don't think that's possible.
Very, very, very strictly speaking, from just a PoE 2 perspective, since we are a PoE 2 podcast, very, very strictly from a PoE 2 perspective, I think having 2 5-month leagues in a row would be very, very rough. I think, even though I know it is early access, even though they are actually addressing the issues now that have been like raised by the community for the most, and in this current league and probably the next league as well, I think having like 2 leagues in 10 months for a game that is supposed to move a little bit faster than that, in my opinion, because we are looking at. Like originally, Jonathan said in an interview, like not too long ago, that there is a 60% chance of PoE 2 releasing this year. I know everyone back then said that's absolutely crazy, but
yeah, even back then we were like, that was nuts.
So that even if it means it doesn't release this year, it definitely means that they are actually trying to move it as fast as possible in terms of getting it to release at some point, and having 2 of the 3 leagues or 2 of the 4 leagues that we had so far being 5 months each is rough. I still remember the last month of 0.2 was rough in terms of like just not only from a streaming perspective, but also from people just telling me in chat. Like a lot of people in chat, for example, said like, I'm still playing, but it just feels like no one else is playing, so I'm not playing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
even now I get that feeling kind of.
So
and there's still a lot of people playing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And if it's January,
I don't think that is a problem. First of all, I don't think that is a problem. Like if there are periods of time where you just have to take the break from a game, it's like, well, I've got my 2 to 3 months in and now I'm stepping away for a month or two. That is an okay world to live in general. I get like, I'm not trying to protest like what you're saying though. Like obviously we want more content more frequently, but like especially in early access, I'm not trying to make too many excuses for GG. Yep. If they felt they needed that extra month, then they should take it. But my biggest problem is we go so long without patches. We're like, it's so untouched, this game. Like we've gotten 2 patches that really haven't spiced up much at all. None of it really touching balance at all. Like if we had a 5-month league, and in the middle of the league, once they were done with the initial setup of PoE 1, and they just did a big mid-league content patch where they just like spiced up the meta or something and gave us new stuff, I feel like it would be better. But the problem is we're having a 5-month league with literally no patches. I hate going back to the patches thing because I've complained about it so many times. I think it's actually on the show notes for this week. Did I add it to the show notes? Oh yeah, mid-league patch. Actually, we are talking about it. We don't get patches enough, and I feel like I complain about this more than anything, is that like we should get more patches, but they just don't have the manpower for that because they're running 2 games with their team. And but yeah, that's like the 5-month league is a problem because we're not getting more love. And if I agree with you. I would not want a 5-month league.
I think even just some communication might be key. I think what's chosen as updates, I think, seems to rile people up. I check out the sentiments on the replies to things after, especially 0.2. and they're putting out updates about things that the company was doing, and people are like, yeah, but what are you actually doing with the game? I think just some sort of communication we're working towards or doing this might go a long way. But even that's only going to sort of keep people that are hooked onto the game anyway. The opportunity with PoE 2 was to attract a whole new audience. And if they do take too long with the patches, they'll lose more and more of that new audience as time goes on, which overall leads to a worse game for everyone, right? Because it's a market-driven economy game. Once you get under it. Unless you play SSF.
Yeah, I just think that in terms of like hype around the game, like I do think that the 5-month break between 0.2 and 0.3 also killed out some of the hype for like not the hardcore players, but definitely the more casual audience.
Yep. 0.2 to 0.3 was, what was the time between 0.1 and 0.2?
4 months.
3.5, 4 months. Yeah.
So that was a short turnaround time.
Right, was it? Let's see. December, January, February, March, April. Yeah.
It was April or something, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 months.
Sorry, the last year is a blur. It hasn't even been a year.
Yeah.
And
this is the first time we've been given. So this is the first time we've been given any real in-game content, though, wasn't it? 0.3, 0.2 didn't have any end-game content in it. 0.3 had new end-game content, but
I don't count this patch as new end-game content, though. Like we're still playing 0.1. We just got different ways to play 0.1, but it's still the same. Like, isn't the content actually technically easier in this patch than like the previous ones with the changes to tiers?
There's some top-end juicing that's completely nuts.
Well, yeah, the top-end juicing thing is nuts. That's fair. Yeah.
There's something there, but they've taken the top end off of all the bosses with reducing from tier 4 to tier 3. The top-end bosses now have 14 mil health, and it's like, well, why? We're making builds that could easily one-shot the 32 mil ones. Why have you chopped the top end off? And I didn't understand that. The end game seems a bit more restrictive in this patch. There seems to be less reason to push characters further, which is a shame.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, sorry, I want to go on another rant. Miso, rabbit thoughts.
That's right, rant time. Let's go.
I mean, going back real quick, I think like the other thing that we're also not accounting for is like, one, they need to put up teasers, right? Those can be automated technically, but then the other thing is the GGG live stream. So if like they do it in January, that means the release date for it would probably be late January.
Yeah.
As opposed to
so it'd be a 5-month league.
It would be not even a 5-month league. It would be like a 5.5, 6-month league if they do January.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And also, I think
they can't release before that though.
Why not?
Well, like because they can, but like I do not think they will release early December given the time between PoE 1's league. Once that point was brought up, that was just like, oh yeah, I don't feel like they're gonna be done. Like unless the league is just like unless the bloodline just doesn't work out at all, it's a complete flop. I don't know.
Yeah. What I definitely get is that, especially in the next league, and I think this was already the case for this league, but I think especially for the next league, it has to hit. It has to be like something major, especially already that they kind of said that it's going to be very, very endgame focused. I think that's the most important thing. Even if it takes like 5 months or 5.5 months even, and if it actually goes into late January or whatever, there is going to be like a period from probably Christmas to around late January where people are going to be up in arms, and I'm for sure going to be one of those people to be like, oh my god, this is way too long, and it is I'm for sure going to have my pitchforks out, like lit on fire, everything. The thing is, I will definitely prefer that version, it releasing in late January, but it's actually like endgame now, and it's actually a huge improvement to everything, and they've actually addressed most of the stuff. I definitely prefer that to rushing it out, of course. I think that's like a very logical thing. I definitely prefer that as opposed to just rushing it out, to get it out before Christmas, to have another like half-baked thing. The problem I have is there is the 3-week break from Christmas to late January. So in my mind, that means the product that they would be releasing before Christmas is kind of the same that they would be releasing after the 3-week break then, right?
That's what they're going to do with it when they're forced on holiday, right? They're just same.
Like, so either it's the same product just 3 weeks later, or it's not only 3 weeks later, but maybe like 6 weeks later, which I would be very, very worried about. So I don't know.
Yeah.
If they're not confident in the product,
it's
they're
technically
releasing.
not really giving them much extra time to like work on the game anyways. Just be on break. So I don't know. I see valid reasons for both, right? And I don't think either one is like a wrong thing. It's just that you had to, I guess, kind of like pick your poison. Do you want to release it a little bit earlier and risk maybe there being a game-breaking bug, or release it a little bit later and just make everybody really annoyed? So
it's still 0.4, right? I mean, we do accept this isn't a full release game, and if there is a game-breaking bug, I mean, it's still pre-full release. These things happen.
Yeah.
The point of us playing it in this state is to find these game-breaking bugs so they can be fixed and that they're not there in the full release. So it's a release more is better because you're going to get better testing results from the community.
Yeah, it's just when you have when a large majority of the player base plays trade, and you just can't have your office offline whenever there could be like a game-breaking, economy-breaking bugs. Not to beat that dead horse, but like if they're ever offline during like a release of a league, that just doesn't seem good.
Yep.
They should get some interns that they have to make work over Christmas. That'll be fine.
It's just pick your poison.
More
at this
interns.
Point. It's pick your poison. Neither one is going to be, perfect.
I think there's actually penalties or something in New Zealand, right? They actually have to do it. I think if you just can't do it because I think there's like very, 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 very harsh penalties for companies actually not adhering to the like work-life balance thing that they've. I watched like a long video once about like GGG and like the problem they are having in terms of hiring, because they are a studio from New Zealand. Like for example, a studio from the US.
It might have been a Gavrin video.
It was a Gavrin.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I watched the same one.
And that is actually something that has to be remembered. It is a huge difference. Like in comparison to, let's say, a US based studio, because work laws are completely different, and also you could just get people into the country. Basically, you can hire someone from Germany as a game designer or whatever. He can just go to US. He has a job already. He gets like a visa or something, like a work visa, and he can apply for a green card immediately. I think that doesn't work for New Zealand, and I don't know. I might be misquoting Gavrin's video or something, but I think like at least 90% of people working at GGG are actually New Zealand citizens, or like New Zealand.
You essentially have to petition to the government that you want to like get this person in, and it has to be done in a way like we can only get like this person has to fulfill the role, like, and only they can do it. Because if anyone in New Zealand can do it, you got to hire within like the country. It has to be that refined.
For a company of this size now, I kind of get how it was not a problem maintaining one game that is PoE1, but in the situation that we are now, that they have still PoE1, which is still thriving, and I don't think PoE1 has lost a lot of its like juices over the last years. It's still amazing. It's still incredibly well liked. Everyone still loves it. But now, on top of that, we have one of the most, like probably the second most popular ARPG as well now on that studio, and then those labor laws or whatever it is, or like these circumstances, they will become a problem. I think it's kind of amazing to see that they are so far, it seems like, very, very able to do it in this cycle, I think. But is that maintainable over like the long run? Yeah, rough.
Bro, he said on one of the interviews, it might have been one of the Darth and Gazzy ones, that there are 5 people at the company that he trusts to make balanced decisions on both games. Both games. 5 people. 5. It was like something like that. Like,
And that's how we get Spark and Lightning Arrow.
On the fly balance decisions. Other people are balanced on the balance team, but they have to get shit approved and stuff. Like there's 5 people he trusts to like just be able to like on the fly know they can do something without breaking the game. That's for both games.
So
those
5 people, I think he should extend the number of people he trusts and sort of look a bit, because the balance is absolutely whack.
Like you need more than 5 per people per game. And the fact that like when they're working on PoE1, they're not balanced. Like that's why we're not getting a mid-league patch right now. It's because these guys are still balancing bloodlines up until the day of and stuff, you know. So
I've always said this.
Like 1% here, otherwise, yeah, but this is broken.
I've always said it. It's a huge problem, like that because you got to scale, right? If you're making 2 games, you have to scale the company up. You can't just be like all of a sudden, all right, guys, you know how you guys were working your ass off in 1 game? Well, now we got 2 games. I've always said that.
So it's all their own engine and everything, though, right? So I assume they've used the same engine. They're just a lot of the technology is port and fix and modernize rather than build from scratch. I'm sure that they've. It feels that way that things are sort of slotting in one way then the other a little bit. Certainly in the ideas department, but also in some of the content.
Yeah.
Even how you explained how tinctures worked earlier, which I haven't actually experienced in PoE1. Well, that to me was just charms, right? It's all, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's already like an insane effort by the company. Like this kind of like it might seem like we were like saying, oh, they're not doing enough. I don't think so. This is already what they have been doing ever since the release of PoE2 into early access. It is already, in my opinion, an insane effort, an insane thing that they've done already, because they've not, like, with that size of a studio and just like the output that they had, it's kind of insane. I'm just worried for the future that they, just by the nature of them being a studio in New Zealand, that they might not be able to scale it that much to actually be able to even improve on this and make the 2 games function in a way like that. Because I don't even know. We already had insane numbers for the early access release of PoE2. Imagine
600,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, 600,000. There were over 1 million copies sold. I think that was.
I think it was close to
said,
800, 900 if we combine like PC and console.
Yeah,
it's huge numbers.
I don't know if it was over 1 million sold. Because I know
it was 1 million sold. It was over 1 million sold.
Yeah.
Was it actually sold or redeemed keys?
I mean,
redeemed.
Because a lot of keys were given out for free. If you had spent enough money in PoE1, you got a PoE2 key for free.
I doubt the number of those people are that high, though. Because it was over like $300 spent.
A lot of people. I'm just saying.
What I'm just saying
maybe I'm over
free to play. And then imagine release, new marketing campaign, everything starting from new. And also, guys, the game is free to play on Steam and whatever. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane, and I really hope it's gonna be.
The low estimations of owners on PoE2, by the way, on Steam DB is 5 million, with the upper estimation being 6.5 million across all consoles and platforms.
Yeah. And like I work in game development, and like one of the things you learn very quickly is like what an early access tag does to a game. There's a lot of people out there that will not like a majority of people, like we're in our concentric circles. We're all like people who love early access games and stuff. The majority of people will not play an early access game. And especially when you hear it's going to be free to play. Most people who are going to play PoE2, I truly believe this, have not played it yet. In 10 years now, when we look at everyone who has played PoE2 in 10 years, most of them have not touched the game yet. So it's going to get like free to play and early access, like being like those 2 barriers. That prevents a lot of people from trying it. So it's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They got to scale. Got to scale the team up.
It's crazy, right? That's crazy.
I like how we shifted from PoE1 talk right back into PoE2.
I know. I keep trying. I keep wanting to say, Misa, what build are you playing in PoE1? But at this point, we're so far away from that topic that it's been.
What build are you playing, though?
I am gonna be following Mage Fist's Flicker Strike Champion. That is what my plan is. I'm not going to be cooking up my own build because I know anything that I cook up is going to be rough. And in PoE 1, I think league starters are way more important than PoE 2. So having a good league start is going to be key for me. So I am following a build, and I would like to say that eventually I'll make my own build this league, but I'm gonna be gone after 2 weeks, so I'm gonna be going away. I'm gonna be going on vacation, so I'm just gonna probably be trying to min max this build, right? Get to the end game, whatever it may be, and then try my best to not give in to my urges to go back to PoE 2 because I don't know. At the end of the day, we're all PoE 2 streamers, right? Our community for the most part likes us for PoE 2, so part of me feels a little bit like, oh shoot, there's people who want to watch me play PoE 2, but I'm playing PoE 1. So there's a part of that, but I'm going to try my best to just keep strong with Path of Exile 1 until I go on vacation, and just kind of, I don't know. I think I need to do better with learning Path of Exile 1, or like relearning / learning the new things. So I'm going to try my best to do that this league. And, we're going to start off with Flicker Strike. It's going to be a lot of fun. The guides for PoE 1 are really, really in depth because they've, just had a lot of time to cook up build guides because things have been in the game for a while and things don't change that drastically between patches. So it'll be good. It'll be fun.
Yeah. It was our chat with Farmer, what was that, last week? When he kept talking about PoE 1 and he kept referencing he learned this like from doing it in PoE 1, he learned this from doing it in PoE 1, and that was that conversation that was like, last week I wasn't too sure I was going to play, and it was after that episode I was like, yeah, I should just actually not play a silly meme build that I quit in a day, and give a deep PoE run a chance, just because you'll learn so much about it, just how it's functioning, and that will translate to PoE 2 in many ways in the future and stuff. I agree with that aspect of wanting to learn PoE 1.
Yeah. Speaking of Farmer, he has a very good video out right now talking about, because I know crafting is a huge topic of like why people don't want to play PoE 1 because there's so much. But he has a really good video talking about like crafting in PoE 1 for a PoE 2 player, and he uses like 80-20 rule and introduces like basically 3 types of currencies that are like really, really good for crafting, and it's like very, very simple. It's like you're gonna be using these for like the majority of your crafts, and you don't need to learn the other ones until later.
Cool. I'll watch it. I need that.
Indeed.
What about you, Farham? Are you good? Do you have a build in mind? I know you said you're probably diving in because you're being peer pressured, but do you have anything planned out?
The guys in the guild, they want to do some stuff, which means we probably should synergize some sort of team, but that's really, 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 really complex. So instead, I'm probably just going to play some Righteous Fire auto walking build. That way I can maybe play with one hand. We'll see if I can avoid the flasks. No, I always want to say, I never played the Righteous Fire builds, but I always thought they looked quite cool. I figured, I'm going to try one of those. They're well established. Should just work.
I love Righteous Fire. I used to, like back in the day, I wanted to make Righteous Fire work so bad, but Righteous Fire didn't have the support when I was playing at the time. So like, it was very, very clunky unless you could get.
I thought Pox has been making that work for about a decade.
Yeah, he has been, but that's how long ago that I was trying to make Righteous Fire work. I think the only way you were able to make Righteous Fire work at the time when I was playing is if you had a Combs Heart. And that was the only way you could do it. And I was trying to make it work like earlier, and it was not working.
Well, last thing on PoE 1 is we got a Breach rework. Looks pretty cool. There's a lot of annoying things with how Breach can be set up at times, where it's just like this opening thing and the layouts of it. They're changing a lot of how Breach functions and stuff. We do know that Jonathan had hinted that there were 4 Breach bosses that were been done, or 3 more Breach bosses that have been done forever now, and we don't know if it's coming in the next patch. We can hope so. But do you think a lot of this PoE 1 Breach work might end up coming to PoE 2? And what would you want to see?
I mean, I think it's pretty guaranteed it'll be coming, but it's just a matter of like, when is it coming? And part of me thinks they might push it out into like the next update, but then that might also be a little bit too soon. I don't know. It's really cool though. Like, the thing is, like, the new breach update in Path of Exile 1 at least also comes with a brand new like crafting and like a brand new tree, like all that stuff. So like that's the only reason why I would think it might get delayed to like its own league. But I think it's a possibility to just add the new breach in without any of the crafting stuff and just do it the same as how we've been doing it all the time, and just have the monsters drop splinters at the end and all that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. I would love to see breach come in like early. Well, here's the thing, right? Part of me also worries about new breach because from what I've seen, the density in new breach seems quite a bit lower from all the showcases they've done. So I do worry a little bit that people are going to be like, no, my mob density, right? So we'll have to see how the general reception is of the new breach, because with all people, they hate change. I mean, there's literally people who are like, bring back old towers, right? And we are like, so we'll see how the reception will be.
There are people asking for the old tower system back.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Every day. I see it in my
chat.
I've
avoided those ones.
Good. Lucky.
The old tower system, I just used to complain about it no end, so I think anyone that liked it left.
Farham, you were nodding heavily when Cal said that is the new breach basically like is stuff, or not just the new breach, or like in general is like the stuff that is coming to PoE 1 testing grounds for stuff that is eventually going to be ported into PoE 2. So you think so?
I think the pollination's going both ways. I don't think it's even just going PoE 1 to PoE 2. I think if you look at the currency introduction in PoE 2 that's just coming in 0.3, look at what they're introducing in PoE 1. There's like clearly some lessons learned and some tweaks and changes that are coming into that. But they're still similar mechanics and similar changes to the game. So I think they'll just proliferate both ways. It might be that the bosses sort of get reused, updated, and added in or something like that. But yeah, I think there will be that crossover.
And I mean, you said you haven't watched any of the GGG like live stream reveals for like the new patch, but they're literally adding like skills from PoE 2 into PoE 1.
Yeah, I mean, I got sent pictures of the currency items in my Discord, and people were like, "How Farham, look at this! Look at how they're introducing it in PoE 1."
They were using all of the PoE 2 breach models too. So they talked about that in one of the interviews, how it just saves them a lot of time, or they can go work on other things. Yeah,
it does make sense. Why would you?
Hopefully, no one is ever upset about that.
No, of course not. That's going to give us a wealth of features going from one game to the other, right? And a wealth of potential. And if things don't work out, they'll probably be refined and fixed up, right?
Yeah.
It does. They could use PoE 2 really as a bit of a test bed for some things, because it is early access for some more of their
they have already
more wild ideas. You throw them in there, see if they stick and work, right? And if they do, they do, and if they don't, you pull them out and fine them up.
Wild idea, asynchronous trade.
Yeah, like something crazy like that. Like, we want to stop people having to interact in real time. No. This game's built on trading. But look, it worked. Hey, look at that. Everyone's happier.
I think you're right, though. I think people are going to deny or argue either side or whatever, but I do truly believe that both games are going to, like you said, self-proliferate each other, and like they're going to feed off of each other. One game's going to make a systematic change that feels good, and just because like both are in the same world, right? They're going to want to like echo those changes, like, oh, this is how this ended up happening, is because this happened this way in PoE 1 with this new league. Now you get to see the echoes of it in PoE 2, which I think takes 15, 20 years later in the timeline or something. Like, there's a lot of like not just story stuff that they can keep intertwining with these leagues, but like we've already seen the respec costs, we've had the mass identify. Like, there's just going to be a lot of like small quality of life stuff that PoE 2 has that brings over to PoE 1. And then, I mean, obviously we always want them to steal all of the systems from PoE 1, so that's going to continue to happen as they more content, and then I don't know.
You're right. Lore-wise, it does fit, doesn't it? Because they have left 15 years between Settlers, where we established King's March, and then PoE 2 where we get to King's March and it's 15 years later and it's a fully built city. No, I'm not a big lore nerd, I know a tiny bit. So that's like 15 years of gap they can keep filling up with PoE 1 stuff if they want. Right.
I think Jonathan said in the interview that they're like, how did Breach get to how it is in PoE 2? Well, that's what they're using this league to set up. This is
Right.
how we start getting towards this PoE 2 Breach. Is this league is that direction? So I don't know. It's a really cool. Like, I'm sure when things are going well and they're actually in the groove of things internally, they're having an absolute blast, like bouncing between these two games. But I'm sure it's overwhelming most of the time.
I think overall it's like very logical. Like the cross-pollination is super natural, of course. I still think like as a concept it's pretty funny because we have a company producing 2 games in the same space with the same name. Then I do think, like, I'm not saying like either game has to not exist or whatever. That's for sure not what I'm saying. I just like for the future, for the next 10 years or whatever, I still think it's kind of a funny concept that, and I don't think that this has ever been done before, and I think it's a very unique situation that we're in right now with this, that a company has basically done. It would be like Riot Games doing like League of Legends 2 now, while also maintaining League of Legends 1 with like not minute differences, because the differences between I should mention the differences between PoE 1 and PoE 2 are not minute. They are huge difference between the two games. I still think like it's very funny because in my mind, if you go with like the logical route, and if we think like 5 years into the future and we keep doing this cross-pollination and something, the games will keep like going closer to each other, and at one point are they gonna be actually do you guys know what I'm saying, or is this like crazy? I don't know.
There's no way they touch tips.
They might touch tips, right? Because like we've got all this time travel stuff going on, so the timelines could converge at one point.
That's when PoE 3 comes out.
DeLorean turns up.
I don't think it'll get that, because if what you guys said earlier in this podcast about PoE 1 will never feel good with WASD, that feel alone will always be a reason to keep the two, like, they'll always be different in that sense. But, you know, they could... Graphics and stuff, yeah. But, like, if both leagues, like, both games had, like, Harvest functioning relatively the same, like, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, if like eventually we had a full Atlas Patless like PoE 1 does, like I wouldn't be shocked. You know, I do think that is the inevitability. I think we'll have a dumbed down version of it in PoE 2 always, but
PoE 1 old game, get rid of it. Get rid of it. I'm fully on the board on trade. You know, garbage game. You know, old game. Just get rid of it. Focus PoE 2.
That was Miso X Shiro who just said that. Miso X Shiro.
For the audio listeners, that was not me.
Miso
I am not the villain this time.
Dead Rabbit and Kalturak and Farham have no quarter in this. We love PoE 1.
I think that's like the craziest take though. Whenever I see people write out, yo, just shut down PoE 1. That game's trash. It's the old game. Look at the graphics. It's terrible. Like, I think it's crazy.
That's what my chat like. That's what my chat like.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I'm not.
There's a lot of people who
anyone.
Like that.
Everyone can like what they want. Like everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But there's a lot of that. There are a lot of people who actually like are rooting for like PoE 1 to die. In that sense, to make way to like basically burn down PoE 2, PoE 1, so the ashes will be sustenance for PoE 2 to rise. Basically, I don't know if the thing is, I don't know if it works like that. I think without PoE 1 and a functioning PoE 1, I think it is a good thing for PoE 2 to have PoE 1. I think, even though I just said it's kind of weird in my mind to have like the two games be like the more with every update be more similar to each other. I think PoE 1 is very important, not only to PoE 1 players but also for PoE 2 players. I do think, let's say 10-20 years into the future, there is a reason why there's PoE 2. I think from GGG's perspective, I think if one game has, if they had to do the Sophie's choice and had to, I think they would go. I think it would be Piri 2 that would survive. Because
Yes.
why would you do Piri 2 then, right? So
of course.
I don't think they had, when Piri 2 was made or when Piri 2 was thought of in their minds or whatever. I don't think the intention was, okay, we're gonna look for a way to kill Piri 1 as fast as possible to then have Piri 2. But I think eventually it's gonna be a more focused, like, I don't know. This is like blasphemy probably, or like this is like sacrilege, or whatever you call it, towards like for a PoE1 purist. Like, this is just me thinking what GGG is thinking. So I have no idea. But I'm saying, even as a PoE2, Andy, I think PoE1 should never die. It should always be maintained. It's the best ARPG in the world right now, like on the market, has been for the last 10 years. Or whenever like PoE2, PoE1 really got going. It is just the best. And if that's still the case, why? And if there's still hundreds or like 100,000 players playing each league, it speaks for itself.
Even beyond it being the best ARPG, which it is, I don't think people understand how much money it makes every league. And like a ghost team could operate that team game. Like you should, like, from just a business side of thing, ignoring like what their parent companies and like partners and stay and stuff, like a ghost team could run that game for years and they would just make so much money. Like you only like it makes, from no perspective does it make sense to shut down PoE1. But no, like and beyond that, they like the game. They all enjoy playing it and working on it. Like, it doesn't matter at, like, they've got enough money. I'm sure they're happy, you know? Like, I'm sure they're good. They're just wanting to make two. You know how freaking cool that is? You have two of the best ARPGs on the market and you're getting to work on both of them. And when you're burnt out, it's like, well, we get to go work on this other one that's super fun. Like, from all aspects of it, like, why would you shut it down? It's a ridiculous argument.
Well, I don't actually, the churn on a development team, jumping from one high pressure delivery to another, going from 3 high pressure deliveries a year to 6.
I mean, yes, that is a big point.
That's killer. That's killer. And if you're not expanding your team to take that.
I think there are people who are exclusive to PoE1 and 2, and there are specific people that work on both. I am not sure on that, but that is a very good point, that from a work stress load, especially with how stressful working on this game is, all the employees we've heard that have quit overtime and stuff, like, yeah, you're talking about 6 releases a year now. That is a very good point.
I can imagine if I work in software development, and if we turned around and said, if they turned around and said you're doing 4 deployments, not 3 a year, we'd be like, are you kidding? When are we going to actually do any work to actually?
No, that's fair. That is very fair.
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, right? I think Rabbit said it best, that both games were probably going to survive for a long time. But if we did, like, down the line, 10, 20 years, down the line, if they had to pull a New World on one of the games, it's probably going to be PoE1, just because of the fact that, PoE2 exists for a reason. And I think, like, the biggest flaw of PoE1 is the fact that it's so hard to approach. And I always say this, for every you're never going to be in a situation where, like, you're not losing players, right? Because whether it may be family situations, maybe you just, I don't know, you EOS, unfortunately, your own life is EOS, whatever, right? And there's plenty of reasons why, like, people stop playing the game, but it's always going to happen, no matter what. It's about getting players to replace those players who stopped playing. And unfortunately, that is one of the weak points of Path of Exile 1. And that is the strong point of Path of Exile 2. So at the end of the day, I think that kind of, logic in itself will probably, have the games play out that way if there was a game that was going to be, removed. But I don't think that will happen for a long time. If ever.
Nowhere on the show notes did I put this topic, so I don't want any fire coming my way.
This is very
Please
true.
in the comments, tell us which kid you're gonna kill. Tell us in the comments.
Tell us in the comments which 4 of us get Sophie's choice and why is it me?
Yeah, who in here has to do the decision to kill what, and what is the type of death it's gonna suffer from? Let us know in the comments.
Please don't do that. No. But yeah, I really don't. I really don't. If there's ever a world where they want to make Path of Exile 3, then maybe that's when PoE 1 gets really forced to a skeleton crew. But we're talking like 10 years down the line or something, or like, you know, when Mark and Jonathan are retiring or something. It just seems so unrealistic right now. Like, look how much hype there is for the game right now, and there are a decent amount of like newer players who are trying it out. So I don't think it's going to be too much. I feel like, yeah. It is a very limited growth, you know, like Miso said. At this point, it's going to be, there's a brief period of time where PoE 2 players will go try it, and some of them will stick. But for the most part, it's just going to be PoE. Like, new people are going to be playing PoE 2.
Yeah, like the growth sector, like speaking from a company that is owned by Tencent, and those are shareholders and everything. Speaking from a growth perspective, the sector that is the growth sector for GGG is PoE 2. That doesn't mean that PoE 2 is any better or worse or whatever than PoE 1. It's just a fact. The growth is coming from PoE 2.
That was Kaltorak? That was Kaltorak?
That was Kaltorak.
That was Farham. I don't
know. Yeah. I completely agree. It's from a pure business standpoint right now, it makes sense to keep both, though. I think both are just printing money.
Absolutely.
Let's be real. Both of them. Like GGG, Jonathan, he's lining his pockets right now. I'm sure. Bro,
I just bought a $90 pack from the PoE 1 thing.
I just got the
freaking. You bought both of them, dude. The freaking treehouse, dude. So cool.
I bought it for chat though, because they wanted to see, like, we finished the live stream and they wanted to see what it looked like. So I did the right thing as a streamer, and I sacrificed my own money to give them the showcase. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have bought it. But, for chat, I bought it.
Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever, man. Speaking of hideouts, hang out next week. We have a cool announcement.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
That's the announcement of announcements.
Announcement of an announcement. Yeah. GGG got me all excited about those.
Oh yeah, true, huh? The GGG faction announcement of announcement. Okay, is that it for PoE 1? Our PoE 1 topic where we talk about PoE 2 the whole time?
I guess so.
Farham, man, what's up, dude? You have done a lot of crazy testing for Path of Exile 2, something that a lot of us appreciate. Just, talk about yourself. I assume you have a background in some form of profession that led you to like doing this kind of stuff or enjoying this kind of stuff. Maybe not, but tell us about yourself and the process of like how you got into collecting these data sets for PoE 2 and now your process of going about it.
Like I work in development, so I work with Microsoft shit, so I spend all my time in Dynamics and spreadsheets and stuff like that. So I'm kind of used to working with data, but like Rarity's been one of those weird things. It was really broken in 0.1, and then there was a whole lot of talk from Jonathan about what they'd changed on Rarity, and then obviously the introduction of the tiered currency systems. And I guess, like, there was a lot of talk in my chat for a long time about things feeling different or feeling weird at the end game. And in the end, it just piqued the interest of me and enough of my guild, just enough that we decided, well, let's just go and test it and see what's happening. Of course, actually collecting those data sets, we set out the plan and we wrote out the plan, and then we started doing it and realized just how fucking boring it was. So that was, and I really mean that. I really mean that, because we were like, right, well, to cut out all these variables that could affect what we're doing, we have to basically not play the game and do the game in the most boring vanilla fashion possible. And yeah, oh god, like hats off to the guys in the guild, especially like Danny and Gondi, who helped me collect a hell of a lot of the data. Yeah, there was a bit of a grueling couple of weeks doing that, but worth doing. I hope GGG are just a bit more clear about how these things work going forwards, or hopefully they know how these things work going forwards, because I still don't know.
Sure,
I'm still not sure they know.
Right?
Yeah, that has kind of been the thing about like I did like a little bit of testing too, like just a little bit, not even close to what you have done so far in the past few weeks, especially. But what I realized and why I kind of stopped doing the tests that I did and everything is I just had more questions after compared to before. So I was like in business in trying to find answers to stuff and to actually have like discernible factors or whatever where I could say like, oh yeah, this is better, the X is better than Y. This is why X is better than Y. So maybe we can draw this conclusion. And after like a week of testing or whatever, with like all kinds of different data sets, with all kinds of different like setups and whatever, I just had more questions in the end. So I just got a little bit frustrated with the whole thing of being like, yeah, why can't we? I don't need all the information. I don't need to, for them, I don't definitely, and they will never do that. I don't need them to tell us like, oh, basically, oh yeah, it's 175 where you see the best or whatever. But I feel like there is a little bit more that we could be knowing, because right now, and I don't know, like you probably have much more insight than I do on that. Right now, it's just it like inconsistency is not even the right word. It is so. I didn't even know what to think. I've seen like different creators. I saw a video the other day where someone was testing like 50 maps with 0 rarity and then 50 maps with someone did like 50 maps with 150 rarity and then 400 rarity, and then he basically concluded from that 400 it was even worse. He got like half the loot, and then another guy was like, it's just, it is so messy in a way where it's like, I don't know if it's good or bad, because at the same time, maybe it's good that it's not like discernible like that. But
what I can say is getting more rarity has never made my results worse.
Yeah,
it's never made my results worse.
Oh my, that's exactly what I've been saying like the whole time, because
it might not have made them much better, but it's not made them worse.
Everyone is always like the whole diminishing returns thing, and we had to talk about that because you were the bane of my existence for like 3 or 4 days after the rarity video that Crypt then reacted to, because I was at the time I was running a character and I was having in my stream title 400% rarity spark ritualist, and I rarely lose my shit. Like I do think I'm very like calm. I'm very like collected. I rarely lose my shit. But that week was the one where I lost my shit like the most, because people kept coming in and not even asking the question, but being like, "What the fuck are you doing? 400% rarity, you actually get less than 150." And I was always like, and then the question also,
you don't get
how much rarity do I need or whatever. And I always just say like, get as much rarity as you can without bricking your character. There's no way you get less. There's just no way.
And all the point I was trying to make was, if you can't get 150 on your character, you are actually bricking yourself, because yeah, okay, you get more up there, but if you don't get to here, you really get bad results. The results are terrible. So to push to that number, yeah.
So,
and I think a lot of people did and started getting good results, actually.
That is the only thing where I kind of had a clear conclusion that 0 rarity, 50 rarity, or even anything below 100 rarity felt very, very bad in comparison to basically anything above that. So that is the only conclusion that I had. But yeah, the whole like diminishing returns thing, and after 150, I think it's very, very easily boiled down to you're like, it doesn't matter. Do you have 150? Do you have 200? Do you have 250? It doesn't really matter. It for sure is not the case that you get less on 200. Even though I know I have people coming into my chat and going like, I just played 10 maps with your build with 300% rarity and I didn't get loot. So it must mean it's bad. That's not how it works. I don't know.
You actually start losing rarity.
Go collect.
That's
honestly,
crazy.
unless you pick up every currency item anyway, you don't really know what impact it's having. And most people are filtering out everything apart from the 5 or 6 most valuable anyway. So unless if you're running that many, unless you run 100, 200 maps collecting just that drop set, you're not going to know how much of an impact it's having. You're going to get a bit more over time, and that's it. It's not like all of a sudden your maps are going to start shitting divines at any point. I mean, we got our rarity stacker up to 750. It's not like every rare's dropping 2 or 3 divines. It doesn't change like that. But I'm sure if we ran 100 maps, we'd get more than when we had 550 rarity. You know, it's that sort of.
Nope. I've tried it. I have a 500% rarity. I didn't get a single divine in a map. It's actually making me lose rarity. I actually had more drops with 0 rarity than 400. So rarity doesn't do anything. After 150, you lose rarity every single point you go.
That was Miso X Shiro. Damn, we have to do a lot of disclaimers in this podcast. So, yeah,
that's interesting. Like I was there for a few of your crash outs, and I didn't realize like that's what they were saying. I didn't realize that they thought that the diminishing returns was taking their rarity and actually dipping it down. I didn't like that. That never. That's stupid. Why would that ever work that way? Why would you think that?
I mean, beats me. I
understand why you got so frustrated those days. I was like, they just misunderstand diminishing returns, but they're just misunderstanding everything. That's crazy. There's no way that would ever work that way.
No, that was like
clear impact on gear. By the way, gear drops, tier 5, tier 4 drops. The higher you go, it does seem to have a real character rarity. Seems to have a massive impact on the amount of those you get. So if you're a budding crafter or SSF, it probably makes even more difference. But
on the amount of overall tiered rares, or on the tier of the rares?
On the tier of the rares. It's never going to make you drop more items. It's just the quality does continue to improve drastically.
Okay. So more T4, T5.
That's really clear.
Well, only problem with that is that tiered rares are
useless.
Completely useless. That's bad.
Someone in my guild dropped a mirror tier rare once. It had 5 tier 1s on it. They were like, wow, look at that. Actually dropped with 5 tier 1s. It happens about as often as a mirror's drop, from what I can see.
Not as often as mirror drops, and not as often as a good white base drops.
Negative rarity farming, that's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that is.
It's very popular right now, too.
It's to me, that's like the lottery. That is, most of the time they're going to be absolute like dog shit. But if you got the 800 div one, if you got that warmonger,
if you set up your filter for it, it gives you the same dopamine you get from divine drops, right? Like I imagine it's just as fun. You would just have to change your mentality around it, right?
Yeah, it's not even the lottery though. As I was watching Red Vials do his negative rarity farming, and if you're setting it up correctly and you're doing it on the right maps, he was getting like, I think he did 3 maps and he got like over 200 div.
It's all about pack size, isn't it, for those maps?
Pack size is huge. It's pack size. You don't want rarity, of course. Rare monsters don't want rare monsters.
No, you don't want those at all because they've got implicit rarity on them as well. So
yeah, you just go pack size, less rarity, and I guess quantity if you can get it as well.
Yeah.
I always thought that, like, I really get the thing about negative rarity farming being like, probably one of the top ways to actually make good amounts of currency right now. I don't know. It's the same thing that Cal just said. You could like adjust your loot filter for it to get like the dopamine. For me, it was always like a little bit not off-putting. I don't know if off-putting is the right word, but I always felt like it's not supposed to be like that. Because I don't know why. I'm not saying that negative rarity farming is bad or anything.
It's like
or
counter logic, right?
It's so weird. It's so weird to me because it's like so counterintuitive to what I feel like for me the game is about. But yeah, it's very, very good, and the reason why it's so popular right now is that it is so good. And I think overall for the game, it's super, super good because if a lot of people are actually doing the negative rarity farming, it just means that there's more exceptional white bases on the market for people to then craft on and make the best items in the game. That is, I think it should always have a place in the game. I think it's a cool cool way to approach just farming. I don't think it should like go away or anything.
And don't say
there
that.
should be more ways to get negative rarity, though. I think only having one item, with it being so important, I think only having one item that can give you that is a bit of a bottleneck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's and a very easily someone can control the market on that quite easily. It's not. It's not
it's happening.
Stop giving people ideas.
It's happening right now. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not talking about something that's not happening. This isn't.
It's not just happening to that. As soon as there's like a market section where it's a very, very low supply of something that is very, very important to a certain strategy or whatever, or like I think bottleneck is just the perfect word for it. There's always going to be manipulation happening. There is manipulation happening like that on the currency exchange at a massive scale sometimes. It is absolutely insane. There is groups... like this is not me like tinfoil hat. I have no idea who these groups are or whatever. This is not tinfoil hatting or whatever. It's just very obvious that it is definitely happening. There have been instances, and I've had instances on my stream where people in my chat are going like, dude, look at the currency exchange right now on Hinekora's log. And I'm going to Hinekora's log, and it is like at 500. It drops down to 200 and goes up to 800 in the span of 5 minutes. And that is,
it's not just luck.
That is not a glitch.
You see it with a lot of stuff, and
exactly.
like back in the classic WoW launch era, there was videos I saw of the bot farms where they would have literally like it would be one room with like 30 computers, and there would be like 1,000 instances of WoW running on these bots, right? Like, do not underestimate the power of these. Like, these people are making an insane amount of money selling currency and stuff. And if you're making that kind of money in these countries where that exchange rate is super high, I don't know how hard it is to bot Path of Exile. I don't know how hard it is, like how good it's like anti-cheat is to immediately snipe people. But I'm sure there are bot farms that are just set up to just sit there and watch the currency and are just flip. Like, I'm sure there is someone out there with some nasty setup.
It really wouldn't be hard to make something that would watch those currency values and buy based on a certain value and sell based on another.
Yeah, I doubt. Yes.
It's just an OCR reader of some numbers, right? And some clicks.
Yeah, that's how they do dark and darker bots. Is they check the auction house and it's all based off of image scans and stuff, and you just have to see the number change and yeah. So I guarantee you, there's people that just watch that shit.
And also, it's not a problem exclusively to Path of Exile. It's always in any game that has a market-based economy like that. It's always going to happen. It's not going away. I don't think like you should use GGG or like any other developer in these games should absolutely have safeguards for it. But it's also kind of a sad reality that it's unfortunately always going to be part of it. So yeah,
I heard at one point in Venezuela you could actually make more selling RuneScape gold than you could in any sort of job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of like that. There's like,
not to take it too political, it's a sad fact of life, right? And these avenues exist, but anyway.
I used to do Maraudons, like I would sell levels for gold, but I used to have a friend who he would sell his gold for money, and the amount of money he was making, like he said, like he had a sports car, like depending on where you live, that exchange rate is nuts. So there's a reason they do it.
Sports car, the upside, having a sports car, downside, you have to face basically what is the queen of filth of World of Warcraft every single day. Millions of times.
Don't buy sports cars.
What is she called again? The boss?
Queen of Filth?
No, the Marathon boss. Isn't that also like the...
Oh, no, it's Princess.
Yeah, Princess,
she's called
right?
Princess Threshold or something, yeah.
I mean, for a sports car, though, let's go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's go.
Tier 7 mapping, Farham. How'd you get to that? Yeah, and what are your thoughts on it right now?
My honest thoughts are that I don't think the tier 7 mapping strat is necessarily a bad thing. I think being able to juice up tier 7 maps and farm currency is actually a good thing. What I do think is that the drop rate of perfect exalts and perfect chaos is too low. I think whatever system they've got going on, however I think it's an accumulation system based on what Jonathan said and based on the data. But I think it's just proccing to hit perfect exalts and perfect chaos too low, basically. And if that was upped, then things start to balance out. They are really high-end crafting items at the end of the day. They should probably only drop from high-end keys. And their value, yeah, I just don't think there's enough of them. But the tier 7 stuff, like, it goes all the way up to tier 14. It's actually tier 15 where it drops off. The last video I did on this, I compared a tier 7, a tier 14, and a tier 16 to see what happened. I got 22 drops, 21 drops, and then 10.
For anyone watching or listening, by the way, we're talking about Farham did a big video or a big test where he tested T7 maps due to and there's like an accumulation system. I won't get into that. Anyone that is very, very, very interested in that should go to Farham's YouTube channel and check out that video. Basically, the TLDR is due to like some accumulation happening. Basically, that certain types of currency are taking away the spot of other currencies. It means that on T7s, since that was gone, you had a much larger amount of certain more valuable currencies drop, right?
I mean, the way I understand it is that, and again, maybe we should just have Farm explain this, but yeah, go ahead, Farm.
Effectively, what we found, so we did a test where effectively we put we ran tier 7s, we ran tier 15s, and the test criteria was I had to be on eye level, monster level 71. Gondi was on monster level 80. I could use breach tablets. He had to use irradiated tablets and breach tablets. We were going to run maps with.
Oh, and
goodbye.
There he goes. Goodbye.
Maps with.
I am Farham now. Haha. Not anymore.
Yeah, it looks like Farham unfortunately has dropped off.
His Discord DC'd earlier.
His Discord DC'd earlier. Okay, and
my Discord DC'd. So I've got a RAM problem on my PC, which is lovely. And now I'm called Calterac. That's fantastic. I think one of my RAM chips is slightly dodgy and programs randomly close, and that time it chose Discord. Sorry.
No worries.
So we ran tier 7s versus tier 15s. We collected to 1,500 drops and then saw what those drops were and saw how many maps it took. There's going to be some, obviously, disparity. Some maps are better than others. Not all maps were equal. But ultimately, it took the results of the test where we effectively, over 1,500 drops, we picked up like the same amount of divines, a similar number of chaos as well, of raw chaos orbs, which was interesting, a lot less exalts, and then there was like loads of disparity on the currency that people don't really see. But the key thing was that it took, on the tier 15s, it took 61 maps, and on the tier 7s, it took 26 maps. So it effectively took 2.6 times more maps to get the same number of currency drops, but we got the same number of divines. So the juice that we had to put in to get the same number of divine drops was a lot lower. And that was just using the same juice. So
yeah, basically the way that I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that basically in order to get a greater exalt or a perfect exalt, what needs to happen is you need to start accumulating exalt orbs, right? So basically, when you're in a tier 15 map, you could have dropped an exalt orb, but it doesn't drop because it's accumulating into a greater exalt or a perfect exalt. But when you're in a T7 map, because you can't actually drop greater exalts and perfect exalts, that accumulation never happens. Instead of accumulating the exalt that would have dropped to build towards a greater exalt or a perfect exalt, it just drops the exalt orb. And then if you match rarity to it, that means you're rolling your rarity against that exalt orb that drops, and have every single time you have a chance of upgrading that Exalt Orb to a Chaos Orb. Or it's like every time you're dropping a Chaos Orb instead of a perfect Chaos Orb or a greater Chaos Orb, you are rolling against that rarity to potentially upgrade it to like a Divine or something like that. Which is why at the end of the day, you're getting that many more currency drops, for like that many more Divine Orbs, that many more Chaos Orbs, that many more Chaos Exalt Orbs in a tier 7 map compared to a tier 15, because instead of the currency itself going to the storage, it is going to just drop immediately and you get to roll your rarity against it.
Yeah, and that is assuming that rarity happens at point where it hits the floor and a few other things. But yeah, that seems to be what the data shows because of because of how close all of the other top end rolls that wouldn't be affected by rarity, wouldn't be affected by accumulation are.
Yeah. So instead of rolling your rarity against one greater Exalt, you're rolling your rarity against, let's just say, 10 regular Exalt Orbs. Or instead of rolling your rarity against one greater Chaos, you're rolling your rarity against 10 regular Chaos Orbs.
Yeah. So effectively, there's about 3,600 drops that have happened in a tier 7 that have actually happened as 300 drops in tier 15. So even if the rarity gets applied to those 300 drops when they drop, and then they could turn into a perfect or an exalt based on your rarity, you've still only got 300 bites at the apple rather than 3,600. So then, yeah.
Basically, the type of situation where, you know, let's just say your aim isn't that great, and you have the ability to shoot 100 bullets at 100 arrows at the bullseye, or you have 10 arrows. Which one do you think is going to land more often?
If you shoot your 100 arrows at the bullseye, every time you hit the bullseye, they're going to give you $1. But with your 10 arrows, every time you hit the bullseye, they'll give you $4. Which one are you picking?
Probably the 100 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yes.
Michael Scott.
Yep, exactly.
That's what I'm getting from that, right?
Exactly. You're right. Yep, totally. That was Dead Rabbit, by the way.
Well, we are technically a build making podcast, and just curious, Farham, do you make your own builds?
Oh yeah.
What's your process of making a build?
So what I normally do is I stream what I'm doing, and then I can't sleep, and then it's 2:30 in the morning, and my build's completely different.
Such is life. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Then I like trial and error. So I don't normally go for. I think Path of Building's great for like min-maxing numbers, which is all good and well. But I think at the moment Path of Exile 2 is not in a situation where you need to do that. So it's trying to find out. Like, do skills really feel good to play? Do they feel engaging? Do they feel like when you make a click, like something happens? And then sort of build around that feeling and that experience to make it viable for all the different content. I like to make sure that my first build of a league is capable of doing all content, because I never know what's necessarily going to be hot on the market. I mean, things ebb and flow, right? So having a build that can do everything is normally good. So my first build goes to that. Then I like to do more specialist builds, but I play a lot of group content, and I'm so I end up making a lot of our support builds and things like that, and that's more about min-maxing very certain things, like a curse bot that min-maxes slow and enfeeble and that sort of stuff. But I like that min-maxy side when it comes to the group content, and then for the solo stuff, I like to make like things that feel good and engaging and to actually sit and play.
Actually, like funny thing, and I actually shouted you out when I did the Last Lament this league, because it got really popular this league due to the changes to the whole low life thing and making the low life thing better. But I think the first person I actually saw doing Last Lament on a Lich last league was you. I don't know if you took some inspiration there, but for me it was definitely you where I saw it the first time. And I also did your Juggernaut Monk last league, so yeah.
Well, I'm not going to take
some crazy ideas in that Russian hat wearing brain.
I can't take full credit for the Last Lament Lich. Actually, one that goes to one of the officers in my guild, and that's to Jamie, who he didn't say much, but he said, I think that crossbow will work quite weird with the Lich. with the Lich Ascendancy, and I was like, oh, I think I'll take a look at that.
That
So it was him.
counts,
It was him that gave me the idea to go and look into that.
Yep.
But yeah,
I mean,
he's a
you're
big crossbow
you're
player.
the streamer, so credit goes to you. That's how it works. That's how it works.
No, all right.
That just sounds like he gave you a nudge. It sounds like you were the one that cooked it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
He pointed me there though. He was a big Lich player and he liked crossbows as well. And he was like, "This looks like it could be quite fun."
I mean, in reality, it was actually the random chatter in chat who, had the idea before anybody else. That was the progenitor.
He did this build
Exactly.
last league.
But before last event even existed. In fact, he was
Yeah.
doing it in PoE 1 before Lich existed.
Yeah. That's it.
You have a favorite build of the league, Farham?
My favorite build of the league. I really like my curse bot. I really like the curse bot. It's so you take it into a map, even a 6-person map, and it will slow white mobs to 75%. Sorry, to 25%, and it's got enfeeble at 79%, so it's reducing damage by damn near 80%, and it turns like tier 16s into. You can just walk through them, just having a chat about what you did at the weekend or whatever, or just it doesn't really matter. You can go do the washing up, or just leave your computer. The curse bot will keep you alive. It's got like about a screen and a half of curse radius. It's it's really fun to play, and it's got about 12k shield. So what you do with it is you just run into the packs yourself and get them all focused on you, and you just stand there like a tank in World of Warcraft, which is what I used to play in World of Warcraft. And then you just tell everyone to follow you around. It's great. It's fucking awesome. My favorite solo build, though, is probably
right?
Yeah, Chronomancer. Yeah. Really, really underrated. Underrated class, I think, particularly for group play. But yeah, a lot of fun.
I mean, that's a perfect segue, Cal. Oh, and he's gone again.
And he's gone
Perfect
again.
segue into the next topic of discussion here: group play.
Yeah.
Well, we still have to go through all our favorite builds of the league.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, before Farham dropped off, unfortunately, his RAM has decided that he has been chosen as Discord again has been chosen to be go off.
Close
There it is.
every other thing in my on my computer.
Sir, how do you play Path of Exile with that computer? Does it just randomly close Path of Exile every now and then?
So this only started happening in about the last 3 or 4 days. I have taken my computer apart, cleaned my RAM chips, put them back together. Oh shit! I just recorded myself, and now I can't send it back to where I got it from. And yeah, I've been trying to fix it, and it's been playing up. It'd been all right today. I even turned it off for a while before this, but yeah, no, it seems to.
Time to get yourself a new computer.
I just got a new computer. This
Oh,
computer's about 3 months old.
that's not good.
That's not good enough.
Well,
Rabbit, do you have a favorite build of the league, Rabbit?
I think my favorite build is always the build that I'm currently playing. I think I do suffer from recency bias most of the time. Yesterday I started the Blood Mage Lightning Warp build, and it is now my favorite build of the league for sure. It's just crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Like I think I mentioned this before we started the podcast. It is just absolutely crazy. I cleared a whole overrun Confluence map in like under a minute today. Granted, the frames were like -2, so I didn't really see what was happening. What I just knew was when it was done, after like 50 seconds, the whole map was just cleared. So yeah, I would say that is probably my favorite build. I already did a Lightning Warp build last league, but with the whole life stacking aspects that are so much better this league with Atta Luis and whatever, especially Atta Luis, I would say is the main reason. It is just so much better now. It clears. I mean, you do have to backtrack a lot. You always have to say that. If you actually want to pick up loot, it might not be the build for you because you will have to go back to that loot. I've resorted to basically only picking up divines mostly now with that build because it's mainly just fun like that. But aside from just like clearing maps like that with the warp and just like I did a sand spit earlier, like literally in like 20 seconds, the whole map, everything just I just leave my leave my hands off, and it just wipes around the sand spit for like 20 seconds. Everything is just done. Also, it just I did a 120 million 6-man zesht today as well, and it's also dead in like 1 second. So it's just one click, one press of lightning warp into the boss, and it's dead on 120 million HP. So yeah, Ata Luis might be nerfed, I think.
Oh yeah,
Next
maybe,
patch. I don't think Ata
just
Luis,
maybe.
that might be the case. So yeah, that's my favorite build now.
By the way, there's 5 people balanced in the game. Remember that. Just remember that. It's 5
There's
people.
more than 5. It's just 5 that are allowed to make on the fly balance decision.
As an Ata Luis user, it should
Whatever
be
that
nerfed.
means.
Nerf it.
No, Ata Luis has to be nerfed. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's crazy. Misa, you have a
Luis-
favorite build?
Yeah, I mean, well, Ratalouis, Rocky Adas, both of those kind of just a little bit strong. And then when you combine Adaluis with Embitter and then Rocky Adas, it's kind of strong. But yeah, it's besides the point. Also, again, Sands Pit. What are we?
Apparently, I was educated on that just recently after the discussion on the podcast. Apparently, Sandspit is like a name for an island.
Yeah, it's
island,
basically
because
like
someone-
yeah.
I ever since I had the picture in my head of like a godly entity spitting sand onto water and making an island like that. But apparently that is what it is. So I guess that's done.
I'm gonna call it whatever I want to call it. How about that?
Giga Chad.
Beach.
Giga Chad.
Strand. Call it Strand.
Strand, yeah.
Yep. Call it Strand. But favorite build of the league, it's actually again for my builds, right? I actually think that I still really like my Recoup Lich. It's not the most flashy build, it's not the fastest build out there, but I don't know. Something about just being able to stand in the middle of all the mobs in the world and just tank it all is really fun. And just, the speed of clear is like, for a recoup build is actually like a full AFK recoup build is actually not that bad compared to like the Blood Boil builds out there that most people are running. Shout out to Lazy Exile. But yeah, that's still my favorite build. Not necessarily my favorite build to play. I still like my current, again, kind of like Rabbit. It feels like every single build is like my favorite build to play, like every new build. But I'm still playing the Spiral Volley Ritualist right now, and using Mirage Partner. Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the guys in my 6-man's playing that. Those builds look awesome, man.
Yeah, they're so fun. Like the Mirage Archer stuff is so cool because you just lights up the entire screen like the 4th of July when you get your lightning rods down and let your Mirage Archer go ham. It's super cool, super fun. So that's probably my favorite build to play. Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm not that European. I know. It was when George Washington. It was when George Washington sailed over and discovered the continent, right?
Yes.
Totally.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, it's a fun build. That's definitely my favorite build of the league so far. And I don't think I'm gonna be making any more builds this league, given Path of Exile 1, and then I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah, I feel like I feel the recency bias thing.
Your chicken build?
Maybe if it was, maybe I've just gotten too picky, or maybe I've just gotten used to builds that can actually survive. This build was very glass cannon, and there was a little bit too many bugs for it. So like that's why the Righteous Fire Roa is not my favorite build. It just was like. Maybe I've just become too picky. It's a really cool build. I killed tier 3 Jets with it. I just don't know why it's like, I just feel like it's incomplete to me. I don't know why I'm not fully satisfied with it. It just wasn't fully complete. So my favorite build's my Witch Hunter, the Bulletstorm Witch Hunter. That was a blast to play. I played that build longer than I played any build. With my Thorns at the start of the league, I was swapping between different Thorns archetypes, so it was like a week on each archetype. But with the Bulletstorm character, I played him for over a month, and I really liked him. The bossing wasn't great. I'm sure I could have solved the bossing if I would have stopped being somewhere about grenades. But yeah, I think the Bulletstorm Witch Hunter was That was so fun to play because it was my first 200% move speed build. I mean, when you're going that fast, it's a blast, right? So I think that one.
I mean, you could have probably solved the single target maybe with like the later tech that was found with what was it called? The which crossbow round is it that makes it so that it takes flat damage, like fixed damage?
Oh, you talking about Rampart?
I don't remember which one it was, but Wooly released a video a couple weeks ago with a spear, and like he has a crossbow bolt that like does fixed damage. So potentially it could have been Rampart. Yeah, it could have.
I never tested that. That could have fixed it too, for sure. I had already gutted the character at that point. I did have a viewer, I think, that was recommending me try it. And, you know, sometimes you just get stubborn with like, you just get locked in, you know. I don't know if you guys have that problem. Do you guys like? I see people recommend you to try stuff all the time, Rabbit, and like you're very good at engaging with your viewers. But for me, for some reason, like whenever someone tells me to do something, like I have to like I have to make an acknowledgement in my head, like this person knows better than me. I should probably like at least hear them out. But like I find myself like. I have to like I don't know when there's so much people in your Twitch chat that just like they tell you to do stuff so much that it just like. I eventually just get numb to it.
The way to do it, I can teach you right now is, damn, I haven't thought about that. That's a good idea.
Okay, so it's false. Okay,
for sure.
That's why I get that vibe then.
I'll check it out, and then you never do.
Okay.
that's the way.
I did open with. I feel like
they feel heard. They feel.
Yeah, okay.
No, actually, a lot of the times, I just had it today. Someone in my chat said, "Oh, try out like a medium ring controlled metamorphosis for this one," and he sent me the message, and like, yeah, for sure. There's
sometimes they hit the right way, and you're just instantly like, yeah, for sure.
It
just has to hit at the right time, I guess.
Yeah. But for like 90% of cases, the best what you can do is, damn, cool. Oh, that's a cool idea. Yeah, for sure, dude. Just don't worry. Like, send me Discord DM because I always forget. Send me a Discord DM. I'll do it next stream.
You're giving up your script.
They have forgotten, and me too. And then it's a whole new day.
By the way, again, that's Dead Rabbit. That's the asshole on the podcast right now. I would never do such a thing. Every time somebody messages me about something that's cool, I 100% test it out as well.
Someone just said in chat that is the married man wisdom. I didn't even realize, but that's kind of true. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, sweetie. That's for sure. 100%. 5 minutes later, like, what?
Wouldn't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Filmmaking's fun.
So that's where I went wrong. I understand now.
You said me so that you're probably done with the league, and that's where I'm at. This last build burnt me out. I'm not fully done with the league. I'm gonna be taking PoE1 break, and I'm mid in the build I'm showcasing on the build of the week. I'm currently trying to play a variant of it in solo self-found right now. But yeah, I think I'm like done with like the whole build craft and like exploration part now. I'm just trying to learn solo self-found. We get so many comments of like, you guys really don't have a solo self-found hardcore perspective. So, I'll listen and I'll give it a go. So I've started that. I got like a level 82 Witch Hunter right now.
I mean, wait for next week's podcast maybe on that.
Sorry, what was that?
Maybe next week's podcast? Next week's podcast, HCSSF perspective?
Oh, I mean, yeah, we can talk about it for sure.
Yeah, I got some up. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry, Farham.
What were you saying, Farham?
So I still haven't learned to craft in this game. I do need to go play like at least SSF and learn how to click the crafting buttons and not just click on the Alva buttons. It's not Alva anymore. It's just Ange. They've changed it to Ange.
It's not Ange like Farmer says. All right, guys. Every time he says that, I'm just like, I don't know, Farmer.
How does he say it?
He says Ange.
Ange.
No. Just I'm sorry for any farmer viewer. I'm gonna reveal the curtain right now or whatever it's called. I'm gonna pull away the curtain. Oh, is it
fake?
Farmer says stuff wrong not on accident.
No, I think he's illiterate.
He does it on purpose. It's called engagement farming.
No.
He can't read. The Arbiter.
Name one Path of Exile player that can read. You can't.
Dude, I had a Prada, who's also a PoE2 streamer, and very good friend of mine and amazing person. Yesterday he sent me a thumbnail for one of his videos because he's like the most professional rage bait engagement farmer of all time. He sent me a thumbnail yesterday for his new YouTube video, and it is. I have to send it to the chat real quick. And you just have to show it. This is the engagement farming that I'm talking about.
I can't.
He made
God.
a video.
Oh my god!
Look at this.
Fucking Jesus!
You gotta post it in the chat.
Yes.
Post it in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, he can't
Wait,
look at Discord.
I don't know. Wait.
The fact that it's highlighted in blue as well. Like, oh my god! Yep. Oh my god!
Wait, there we go. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail, but it was just so it was just so funny to me. That is
it's
the absolute most top tier and so yeah, that is
me. Until Farham said it's the blue, I was like looking at the girl. I was like, what did he do? Like, where's the meme? It wasn't until he said the blue. I was like, oh, okay, he's baiting there. I was like looking for something like in the background. That's funny. It's not too off topic because I am talking about Prada in my build of the week. So.
Oh, perfect.
It actually works out.
Right.
Perfect. So we will come back to Prada. Absolute.
Yeah.
This, like, when he sent me this, I actually got mad. Like, I know he's making a joke of him. I know I've known him for like a year now, and I know how he is and how he's doing. It still made me mad. I cannot imagine how mad people are gonna get that don't know him.
For any of our audio listeners,
Prada's amazing. Prada's amazing.
He seems like a troll, but he doesn't like walk the line. He's well below the line. He's like a very playful troll in my head. Like, you know how there's like the rage bait trolls that are always like on that very dangerous cringe line. He doesn't go near the cringe line from what I watch. Like he's a very playful rage baiter, and this is like a perfect example. I like Prada a lot.
Anyone listening in watching the YouTube VOD or whatever, 787 Prada on Twitch. He streams Path of Exile 2 every single day.
He'll be linked below. Because
immaculate music taste. It's you will not regret tuning into his stream. I can tell you. I can tell you right now. From the brain that brought you this thumbnail is that stream every single day.
Yeah, and for audio listeners, the thumbnail.
As I'm finishing. So. I said he's normally starting as I'm finishing. He's my normal raid target as the only person streaming at 12:30 that I know.
Yeah, for any of the auto listeners though, it's a thumbnail that says "Make your build," except your is YOU_RE, like you are. So that's just a little bit of context for anybody who's not watching the podcast on YouTube.
Right. Yeah, and Prada is also very good at the game, which we'll show later. Rabbit, how much time do you have?
Like 30.
Okay. We'll probably scrap the last topic, but let's move on to group play versus solo play. This is something I'm actually excited to talk about with you, Farham, because as far as I know, the three of us are strictly solo players, me, Rabbit, and Miso, for like 99%. Obviously, Rabbit did his 180 million group play, but for the majority of the time we play solo. You seem to not just like do a lot of group play, but you talked about how you make builds for group play and stuff. Just in general, what are your thoughts on group play before we talk about the currency difference between the styles?
It's a bit of a different game, I think. Group play, you're trying to min-max different things with certain people having certain roles. I think it gives you an opportunity to min-max certain things. So whereas like a min-max solo Rarity character might be like 500. Like if you're really min-max, like 450 is probably more reasonable. With a group, you can get to like 750, and it's like there are diminishing returns, but if you're playing enough, those diminishing returns are worth hitting. So with a group, you can do that, and but there's a different set of challenges as well. Like, I mean, the mobs are going to be up for a lot longer, and they're going to be hitting. Well, they don't hit any harder, but they stay standing, so they do actually hit you. And it's trying to solve those problems, as well as when you're in a group, you only get bonuses if you're actually together, right? You don't get bonuses if people are dead or standing around at the start of the map. You actually have to be as a group. So you've got to try and keep people alive and solve a whole bunch of other problems. But you can specialize people and specialize builds, and I kind of like that. It feels more like building a 5-man for like World of Warcraft or something like that, which is kind of my pedigree and where I came from. And you need to do that if you want to challenge the hardest content. Let's say you want to go do like a tier 15, 16 abyss pits get harder on a natural overrun. If you're going to do that, you with like tablets that give you all of the extra mods, so you've got your mod list is like off the bottom of your screen. If you want to do that, you've got to have your group specialized to to take on all those mods and like survive. And it's like meta. It's like meta building, right? You're not building on one character, you're building on 4 at once. And I don't know, I kind of like it. But it's in some ways, I suppose it's easier because you've got 4 characters and I'm specializing this one like this one like this. You're not trying to solve 10 problems with one character. You're trying to solve 10 problems with 4. And yeah, it's a different way of building out characters, but it's definitely engaging, definitely fun, and like obviously gets to play with the guys on stream. And they're a good laugh, so that's always good fun as well.
Do you think group play is OP in like when it comes to currency?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the way the multiplier seems to work, it up to about if you go up to about 4 people, you will probably say I'm getting 4 people's worth of loot. In fact, you might even say we're getting less loot than if all 4 of us went and did our own solo thing. It seems to me that when you get to 5 and 6, the multiplier that gets applied, the multiplier being applied on quantity must be multiplicative for each person, because once you get to 5, all of a sudden the loot starts exploding, and once you get to 6, it explodes even more, and it's like all of a sudden you've gone from you're killing a rare and it's dropping like 2 visible currency drops on a super uber strict filter. You go to 6 and all of a sudden it's dropping 6. And it's like, why does this change happen between 4, 5, and 6? Why does it go from like being a bit shit to then being like really, really overpowered? Again, I'd really like to know the exact like multipliers behind that. I got sent something recently saying it was like 11, 22, 33, 44, but it feels like it's much more than that. And the multiplier must be, but I feel like it should just be like a 100% increase and not some sort of more multiplier, you know, getting the same loot again.
Oh, you dropped off again.
Oh no, I'm Farham again.
Yeah, but I mean, I personally think that Rarity like running group is pretty dang OP. Like, it's just you get the amount of loot drops that you get is just insane.
Yeah, it's completely unreasonable. Yeah, it chose last time. It chose Chrome. I'll just close Chrome. Yeah, the loot drops for 6-man is it seems unreasonable. Even 5-man seems unreasonable.
Do you think that they should nerf it?
The difficulty is that much harder that I think there should be some reward for it, but I think it's overtuned at the moment.
And also, probably one of the biggest reasons why the loot also seems so insane is because you can make use of a rarity bot, right? That can be up to like 7. Like, what did you say? The highest now is 750, right?
So the highest on PoE Ninja at the moment is 773, and then the second highest is me at 768.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pat Abyss for being number 1 and helping me with my rarity bot. But anyway.
So you said that the first the big spike happens after 5 people.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the balance at like 4 people with a rarity bot? Like, is that how it should be, or like is that like is some form of spike needed?
I don't think. I think there should be more of a curve. Like at the moment, it does feel like it spikes at 5. And like before that, if you're running with 4, it feels like you might as well just all be running solo. I think like the reward curve should come in earlier, but not be so hard towards 5 or 6. I mean, the difficulty does get harder, but it's just in terms of mob health, really, and like you can solve that with just better DPS. And solving the problem of surviving is just a case of having your support bots online properly. So, that's part of the problem, part of solving it. The other one is dodging all the fire.
Like, how much do you think they would need to nerf it? Like, do you, like you said, you still think that there should be an advantage for playing in a group, but because of the inherent difficulty increase, but like, how much stronger than playing solo do you think it is? And if you were to balance it, how would you balance it? Oh, we lost him again.
Oh, it's getting worse now. Getting worse now. I'm gonna answer that for you as someone who has played a total of 2 minutes in groups over the past 3 months. Yes and no. I think it's a very nuanced.
Sorry, Miso. Sorry.
No worries.
I missed your question.
I was asking you. So how much would you like? How much better do you think that group play is compared to solo play at like a 6-man? Let's just say 5 or 6-man, right? And if you were to balance it, how would you balance it?
Well, I would say at the moment that at 6-man, you're probably getting... At 6-man, if you're running a 6-man, you're probably getting 9 people's worth of loot, I would say. At the moment, I think that should be closer to 7. There is an inherent difficulty spike with playing it with that much extra toughness and extra HP scaling on the mob. But I don't think it should be 50% more than... Effectively, because you're dividing the loot between 6, right? But if it's 9 persons worth of loot, then everyone's getting 1.5. I think maybe like 1.2 might be more reasonable. It is clearly about 10 times higher at the moment, or 9-10 times higher.
I mean, it makes sense why people are buying those crazy maps for crazy prices now.
Yeah. Buying a map for 3 divines isn't a problem for the 6-man. I can tell you that. Like, we're gonna get a lot more than 3 divines out that map when you put it all together. But if you were to buy 3 divines as a solo, you're not going to guarantee that. I wouldn't have thought. Looking at you guys for that one, because I don't know.
No, you definitely
too much group play.
3 divines in a map? Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, two things in a map, I think is unreasonable.
It does happen. It does
happen.
But not. It's not your average, right?
It's not reasonable. It's not reasonable on the big end. Like, if you spend 3 divines on every single map, you're gonna. In the end, you're probably not gonna.
Yeah. Whereas the 6-man, I can say with. Yeah, I can say if we spend 3 divines on every map, not only are we going to cover our costs and the tablet costs, but we'll have something to split at the end of it as well.
Yeah.
And that's guaranteed. So that's the difference. And that's why the maps are priced like you go into the economy. The maps are priced towards these teams. They're not priced towards solos. And I think that's unreasonable, right? Because not everyone's got a 6-man team to run with. Everyone's
goodbye. Yeah. I think that
the group player Mafia is getting to him.
Yeah, they're DDoSing him, trying to prevent him from getting group play nerfed. I think that I don't have a problem with group play being as powerful as it is, personally. I think it's fun to watch as an outsider. I know you can always complain about how it's like the trickle-down effect of these people getting this much currency and stuff. The blasters are always going to make way more currency than me, and I'm always going to be at a disadvantage. So if, like, it doesn't matter what strategy's out there is best to me. And yeah, I don't have a problem with group play. I don't care if it gets nerfed or it gets to stay the same. I don't know. I like looking at the videos. Empyrean is his name from PoE1.
MP?
Who does MP? He does all of the really cool group play videos. Like, when I watch him stream, like, I'm blown away by just the amount of like things that are on the ground and stuff. Like, it looks super fun. I don't know.
That was it was one of his videos that actually enticed me to sort of look at PoE1. I watched him drop 77 divines from one mob. I was like, oh god, I missed that.
Yeah, his videos are crazy. So I wouldn't want that to be taken away from people. I just don't have the optics on how big the gap is.
Yeah, the gap feels like you're getting 1.5 times more loot from being in a group, where I think that feels too much. Like, over time, that's a big spread. Whereas
I don't know, it's a lot getting 6 people together and have, like, if you're talking like the amount of prep you just talked about, like, you have to make a well-oiled machine that can handle, like, I'm sure there's easy setups for it where, like, you just get like a spark build that's doing 16 million damage or something, sure, but like I don't know. Maybe I have that poor optics on it. It sounds like in an ideal world, it's a fun thing to do. You have more challenging mobs, like the mobs do end up being tankier and stuff. Sure, like I like that world. Like I don't hate it. I just don't.
That's true. There is a lot of setup. There is a lot of coordination, stuff like that. You can't just go into you can't. The case is not that you just assemble 6 people with like random builds and you just go into maps and automatically get more loot like that. What Farham is talking about requires a whole lot of setup. So
yeah,
is it?
That seems cool to me.
Yeah, true.
Definitely like you talk about running with 750% rarity right now, like that setup took time and investment to get going, right? Like I don't like. I'm sure there's some
big shout out to my community on that one because it was actually some of the Rarity bots that gave me their failed crafts to say, here you go, see what you can put together with this, and it was that.
So in the end, it's streamer benefits again. There we go.
It was streamer client, streamer client right there. But to put it together and actually the concept and the technical concept around having the Rarity bot as a color rather than using Gravebinds was like kind of exciting. Like, and it makes the Rarity bot feel like an engaging thing to play. And you're like, so you run in and then you like Thanos snap everything out of existence and they all just like puff away in this purple cloud. It's quite beautiful actually.
So do you
use Contagion?
Does your party use like what is it? Piety's Desire or whatever it's called on all their abilities.
Mercy.
Yeah, Piety's
Mercy. So every DPS uses one ability with Piety's Mercy. No Heralds, no Wind Dancer, no Arctic Armor, no Poison, no Bleed, no Ignite, and then they get everything down to 1 health, and the Rarity bot just runs around clicking on the packs, and they just disappear in this cloud of purple smoke. It's fucking awesome.
That is super cool.
Awesome. I think that's way better than how Rarity bots were in the past, which they just kind of walk around and just chill, right?
Yeah,
it's just like Gracebind.
And actually, it didn't work well because presence area is actually blocked by like the trees and the barrels and the bits of grey you see on the mini map.
I did not know that.
We started to figure it out when all of a sudden I started using fancy finisher effects. I'd be like, why is my finisher effect going off on the rares? And then, actually the Gravebind tech doesn't work too well on some maps, but this is foolproof, right? It just nothing can die unless the bot does it.
I think your point again, I like it. I think it's cool to watch from the outside. I think maybe again what you say, if it's 1.5 times, maybe it needs to go down to 1.4 to 1.3 or 1.2 like you said. I don't want it to be completely gutted to where people don't feel incentivized to do it. Like obviously it can't be easy access. Like I think it was 0.2 like Miso alluded to, where like you could have a Rarity bot who was just literally like you would have 6 Rarity bots. Like you just like it would be there'd be 5 people doing nothing with stacking Rarity, and but we don't ever want that world. But the engine you're setting up for your groups, like if that gets better currency than me, like fine. Okay.
I think as I said earlier, my favorite build of the league was the Curse bot, which is like its slow magnitude on sheet is 166%, which covers you for 75% in 6-mans on white mobs. That's like min-maxing that sort of stuff is quite satisfying for a group, which you obviously can't do that for a solo because. Okay, I've got 166% slow, but I do 300 damage. Doesn't really work. It does open up a different type of building, which is quite exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's dive into build of the week then. We'll just start with my build. Let me know when you're good, Miso.
Yep.
So I am a big Witch Hunter simp. I talk about Witch Hunter all the time. And I think it was even last week where Miso straight up said he hadn't seen anyone use the 100 weapon set passives really well. And Prada has a really cool setup on a Witch Hunter. He is using weapon set 2 with Whirling Slash to dart around the map. He has 0% move speed on his boots. All his mobility comes from just using his Whirling Slash, and that's where all of his weapon set 2 points are into, is just min-maxing his attack speed to make him just Whirling Slash as fast as possible. And then in his main weapon set, when he swaps to his attack, it's all attack damage stuff. And yeah, this is by far the best example. I mean, look how fast he's going. He's getting 0% move speed on boots, lets you do some fun things with your itemization. It is by far the best example I've seen of someone utilizing the weapon set passives. It has great boss DPS. Obviously, when you're using Rakiata's Flow and stuff, you can get some insane numbers. Obviously, the setup he's using is a very expensive one, but I am currently doing a variation of it. He's doing a energy shield version in this build right here. I'm currently doing this build in solo self-found. I'm level 82, and I'm playing an evasion variant of the build. So it doesn't have to be it's not an expensive build. You can just dive into it. But yeah, I don't know. I've been a Witch Hunter since 0.1. It's the most it's a class I've leveled the most. I've got 3 this patch. I love Witch Hunter, and yeah, this is awesome. I mean, Prada really cooked on this one. It is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it is really cool. Just like having this like application of, I don't know, Whirling Slash. Like, I've always thought about this, right? Because Whirling Slash and like these kind of fast attacking skills are gonna be moving you way faster than any like movement speed boots will be. Now, granted, it does feel sometimes a little bit clunky, but I don't know. It's just like a cool concept that I like to see. And just to confirm, like, I haven't seen the tree or anything like that, but is it not possible to do it to this extent without being a witch hunter? And using the passive
it would not be as efficient. No, you would be giving up stuff. Like, he's going as fast as he can because, and a lot of it's defensives as well. He's doing a nice energy shield up. I mean, he's got a juice set up with how split he is. But I don't think you would be doing this on any other ascendancy. Because he's utilizing a lot of like damage juicing from his weapon set 1 has all of his damage, and his weapon set 2 has all of his mobility. So I feel like it would not be as. I mean, I haven't tried doing it on something else, but you would not obviously have as much damage or as much mobility without it.
Yeah, I see that he has used roughly around 50-ish weapon set points, which
which we've talked about.
Yeah, it's definitely not possible in other classes, so that's pretty dang cool. And like, while he's moving really fast, like I know like he's definitely moving really fast, but of course it's not like the ceiling of like how fast Whirling Slash move. But I think like the impressive part is like the fact you can do this and also be using like another ability to like clear and stuff like that. Like, getting Whirling Slash at this high attack speed on top of being able to use another ability to do it is like really dang impressive. Because like you would never be able to do this on like a normal build without Witch Hunter. Like, your Whirling Slash just isn't gonna be. You're gonna be giving up so much damage to get it to be like high like this, and like you wouldn't be able to use another like weapon, right? You'd only be able to use a spear for your damage. So having that combination of just like being able to move so quickly with Whirling Slash, but also being able to do so much damage with their crossbow is like the cool part about like, Witch Hunter and this build in general.
Yeah. I've done a similar try to do thing on Titan with using Bone Shatter instead of Whirling Slash. But it's just like it's not as effective as this is, because this isn't like a glass cannon build. He's like reasonably tanky. 10,000 energy shield, like with how far he's spread as a witch hunter, it's like that's not easy to get to. Again, I'm doing an evasion on solo self-found, and that's going pretty well right now. I don't have the 100 weapon set passives utilized yet, but it's super fun. But yeah, it's cool, man. I just so what are your guys' thoughts on this like kind of movement speed tech? Do you think it's going to last? Is this all going to be gone before long?
No, I think they're going to add more of it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Because if they were going to nerf it,
yeah, no, it's very short. I think it's not a bad thing. I think it has a place 100% because it makes cool builds like this possible, and that's just good.
This is a sick build.
I mean, there was Tempest Fiery builds that moved around like this. League Start, right? The Hollow Palm ones brought back something of the attribute stacker from 0.1 in terms of the feel with Tempest Flurry, and I think that is like zooming is very much in the core of what Path of Exile is. I think to remove that from Path of Exile 2 would be.
Wasn't there one skill though that people were zooming around on that they eventually put a like animation lag on something that like
they did
slowed
something
down?
with whirling slash to stop some.
Yeah, no. So basically, whirling slash at the beginning of the league was bugged to where like unfortunately yeah, it was bugged to a point where like I think the animation was longer than it was supposed to be, because whirling slash kind of gets like a little bit of a diminishing returns with the distance that it goes as you increase your movement speed. So like every single press of your button, it makes you move a little bit shorter of a distance as you scale your attack speed, I believe is what happens. And they didn't have that in the game at the beginning, so you were just zooming across the map. And what I would say to like, you know, are they gonna like nerf this type of like, I don't know, I guess archetype, this way of moving around the map, this like ability to attack really fast and move? I don't think they're gonna nerf it, just because of the fact that the whirling and slash builds existed last league and they didn't nerf it.
Bone Shatter builds too, so
yeah, and Bone Shatter builds existed last league, so like they know it exists. They became pretty popular last league, and the fact that they didn't nerf it makes me believe that they're probably gonna be, you know, okay with keeping this type of archetype going forward.
Yeah, I don't want them to nerf it, so I think it's cool. Yeah. So shout out to Prada, he cooked here.
Oh yeah. I'm still a little bit like disappointed that they nerfed like the incinerate version of whirling slash though. I thought that was really cool and really fun.
Yeah.
The
big fire ones.
Yeah, but unfortunately having they made it so whirling slash loses its elemental properties after 4 seconds is like, it was a big blow to that archetype. It was like one of my favorite builds last league too. So the fact that it just got completely gutted is really disappointing. Like there was like a moment where I was like, because they removed it, so I think they made it so that incinerate, which was the main way that you got the huge ignite, they made it so it doesn't create burning ground unless you have infusions on it, right? So at first I thought they removed it, but then they, you know, brought it back with infusions. I'm like, okay, it's still possible. And then they put the final nail in the coffin by just basically making it so that, okay, whirling slash is just not going to keep the elemental like thing infusion that you put into it after 4 seconds. So like, well, that archetype's dead.
Obviously, you just restarted.
Oh, Farham, your computer doesn't want you to be on the podcast today.
My computer doesn't want me to do anything.
Yeah, Hanford, the bossing is good. Obviously, he's got a good crossbow. I think he's using it's the fast shooting lightning attack. I forget what it's called.
Shock burst round.
Yeah, shock burst round. So he hits with a rocky. Sometimes he one shots the boss with the plasma.
Yeah,
blast,
I'm assuming when he goes into like pinnacle bossing, he has the time to actually make the swap to like probably move like Rockiatas and stuff into his plasma blast to make it so that he just one shots it. But while he's mapping, he doesn't use it because he probably has a swap.
So here's where he shock bursts on this boss, I think. Yeah.
He probably has a swap that he just doesn't care to change because it uses too much effort while mapping.
Funny enough, my very first Jade Isles on my solo self-round run, I got a Rockiata's flow. So that was a good start to my character.
Ballin'. I mean, for how expensive it is, I feel like Rockiata is a fairly common drop.
It is. It is very easy to farm. I was not concerned about getting it. Really, I find
and we actually target farmed it one night.
Really,
I find it the easiest one to target farm, at least in my, because you just follow the water and you'll see so many Jade Isles versus the other ones. It just feels like you just kind of like randomly trek in to find them. But with Jade Isles, you just follow the water and you'll find so many of them.
Yeah, I think I've out of the
not that expensive anymore, right? It's like 15 div though.
It's like 15,
it's not that expensive. 15 div. The world this man lives in.
I mean, I think a lot of people are still like, you know, of course, like there's a lot of people
into my trap
in the game right now who are like Rabbit and like, you know, 15 div is not much. Like even to me, 15 div is not much anymore. But like I do think there's a lot of people who still, at this point it's not that much. But like I do think there's still people who struggle with it. But at the beginning of the league, it was very expensive.
You guys must have had the situation at the start of the league where you picked up an item for, say, 2 or 3 divs, and when you're going to make your build guide, people are asking you how much the item cost, and you're like,
oh, all the time.
That's 50, 60, 70 div now. Whoops.
That's just snipers though, because like I've noticed this a lot. Like immediately after I release, especially this league, and when I release build guides, specific target items they'll go up to like 30, 50, 60 divine, but 3 to 4 days later they're back down to the normal price because people realize they're not going to actually sell at that high of a number. So it's like
It's the guy running to Best Buy on PS5 release when Best Buy has like a good price on PS5s, buys like 200 PS5s, and then realizes 2 months later, wait, I can't find 200 people that want the PS5 at these scalper fucking prices. So yeah, it happens. It every single one of my build guides, it happens to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst was last league when me, Rabbit, and who else released the Titan video using that one helmet at the same time? Wolfender, I think. I think the three of us were all using the helmet that reduced attribute requirements or something all the same time.
Yeah, Vortex.
Vortex, yeah. And that made it go from a 1 exalt item to like a 30 divine item the next day just because 3 different builds all like the same time plop something out.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, just scalpers.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Farham. Can you link your build of the week in Twitch chat to me so he can't look at Discord?
No, I have it.
Oh, you have rabbits?
Rabbits? Oh, Rabbit is another one? No, I don't.
Yeah, Rabbit just posted one in this.
Yeah, Rabbit. Is this your first week doing this? Every single week I tell you I can't click the Discord links.
You're grounded, Rabbit. Oh, this build.
Sorry,
I saw this the other day.
Oh,
this was yesterday. Never mind. No, I do recognize Light though. I don't think I've seen this build. No, I did. I saw this on Reddit. I saw a clip of this on Reddit. This is a sick
My build is
I think I'm on
also
the
a
spend
Witch Hunter build.
money
Because
angle.
last week we were talking about, like Cal said as well already. Last week we were talking about Witch Hunters and how we haven't seen a lot of builds utilizing the weapon set that Witch Hunter provides. And yeah, of course, now this week we both found something that actually fits that. So my one is from Mr. Light on YouTube as well, who also is a little bit of a smaller content creator who is very underappreciated, I think, in that sense, because he always puts out like 2 or 3 builds every league, and most of the time they are very, very original and they are very, very good most of the time. And also, what you should say, mostly he doesn't do like the multi-mirror builds. Most of the time his builds are pretty cheap, so he always does good stuff. So this time he has made a Witch Hunter who's actually utilizing, I haven't counted it up, but if you go to the PoE Ninja page, I haven't counted it up, but it seems like he's very close to actually using 100 weapon set skill points. Basically, for the first weapon set, he is using that for clearing, and then he has his crossbow just weapon set locked to weapon set number 2 as well. And then on weapon set 2, he is doing a lot of damage. He's allocating cooked. He's allocating stuff for toxins because his boss one-shot actually uses poison in combination with Culling Strike. And then, yeah, basically also a little bit like Prada, the second weapon set is going to be used for toxins and just straight up damage. And then the first weapon set is a lot of movement speed stuff, a lot of notables that just give him clear and mainly movement speed, some energy shield like that. That is weapon set 1. And then just the weapon set 2 for just straight up boss killing. It is based, at least when he released the video, he was using the Culling Strike helmet. I forgot the name. He was using the Culling Strike helmet for that version. He also used a Prism of Belief with Plasma Blast as well to get those juicy one-shots. On his ninja page, I don't know what he's doing with the character, or if it's just like him trying it out or something. He's using the Constricting Command right now, so I don't know what that's about. I don't know if like the Culling Strike thing is just something he just let by now. Very, very cool build. Uses galvanic shards for clearing. That is not really something new, but in terms of just like the plasma blast, he's using Garakan's Resolve, which I haven't really seen a lot of people use. He's using just Ambush, Poison 3, and Overextend and Defy 2 on the plasma blast. It's something definitely really original because he's not making use of just the Culling Strike. There's just a few things happening in this build that are very interesting. What I will say though is I think he's still optimizing it. It is, I think, very squishy due to the ninja is saying he has like EHP of 12,000 with resistances around the 50% mark. So it is definitely going to be squishy, especially in like T15 juice daily maps. There is going to be some stuff that is just going to evaporate you with that. But yeah, it's a very cool build. On the investment side, it seems to be definitely not expensive as well. I don't see a single item in like his stuff here that would make it seem like, oh, this build only works because he has expensive stuff. Very cool build. Yeah, all content viable most likely. Simulacrum is probably going to be tough because you're just going to get randomly one shot sometimes, but who wants to do Simulacrum anyway, right? So yeah, very cool.
Do well in Simu.
That's why you play
cool
my
build.
Riku Glitch when you're playing Simulacrum. Just sit there.
I
and,
always
you know?
I always wanted to do like the plasma blast because I really like the whole thing of just winding it up, shooting, and then one-shotting the boss. So yeah, he definitely found something that I couldn't really work out like that. So yeah, very cool build.
Yeah.
I don't like gear swaps like that. I never play builds like that, and seeing him swap the Plague Fingers for bosses, like my ADHD will either forget to take them off or forget to put them on too much. So anytime I see gear swap builds, they're not for me, but
I'm okay with swaps.
Yeah, Myris Uxor is the name of the
not
helmet.
against like map bosses.
Myris Uxor is the name of the Culling Strike helmet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay with the gear swaps like I don't know. Like last league I was doing the Whirling Slash, as we were talking about earlier, the Ignite Whirling Slash, which had to swap at the beginning of the map, which I was okay with. I mean, you didn't have to. Like if you just wanted to just do casually, you can still do it because your damage was just that high anyways. But if you wanted to be like min-maxing or something like that, right, you need to basically swap at the beginning of every map. But I don't really like having to like swap for map bosses. Like having to do this every time.
Yeah, you see how I'm doing right there.
Like, just like, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cool build though.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm not saying like that shouldn't be a thing. It's just not a thing I want to do.
It's not a thing that I forget either.
I think maybe about this build is if you throw like, I think like overall what he's doing here, the build is very cheap. I think overall if you throw like 200 divines on this build, it's gonna be it looks like 3 times as good. It just needs some optimization. So but the concept like very cool, 100%.
I'm trying to like because I'm doing a variant of Prado's build and so found. I'm trying to get the helmet that he's using in this build, the Myris Uxor, because yeah, I don't know. After doing it on my Witch Hunter, like Culling Strike is fun. So
okay, yeah, that's mine.
Sweet.
All right, Farham.
Oh god, I hope my piece. It's not gonna stay stable. It's not.
We can skip your build if you don't want to.
No, it's all right. No, it's all right. No, I'll do my best.
Do very quick.
It's got a feeling that it might crash out. So this is a specific Secumus runner. This is one of the officers in my guild. It is again Whirling Slash, using weapon switch tech, using Whirling Slash to move around. Of course, the old movement tech. It's got the proliferating Herald tech on it as well, and it uses Culmination and then one-shots the bosses, having used Rapid Strikes to build up Culmination on, I think it's still Primal Strikes it's using. But yeah, interesting to see a spear build, like dedicated Secumus runner, but I've seen it bring it into maps. It does work. It's very fast. It can get through Secumus very quick.
So when you say like
the boss,
yeah, when you say like it uses the Herald proliferation, what do you mean by that?
So that is using you get chaos damage on your build. You put Ulnatol's Embrace in.
Because he's not using Herald. He's not using Herald.
No. He's not using it here. But if you look at it on the, that's because here he's running the dedicated Secumus thing, which is what it's set for. If you look at it on the PoE Ninja,
Oh, so like his normal build, when he's mapping, he runs the Herald chains.
He's got the tech set up, but it was designed for the speed for this. That's what it was mostly built for. But the Herald chains with Ulnatol's Embrace and then Armor Explosion on Herald of Ice, using Chaos damage, which then the Armor Explosion creates the Herald of Thunder using Piety's Mercy, which then stops Herald of Thunder killing enemies so that they can be armor exploded and create more Heralds of Ice. And it uses that as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
What? I don't want to play PoE 1 now. I want to play that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Did you not know about the Herald chain stuff, Cal?
Not with Armor Explosion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's really good, man.
My Ritualist build was based off of that, actually.
It's like really
the
fun.
Flicker Strike.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was.
I've been doing PADs on one of my characters. It was my Lightning Warp Mjolnir build, but I didn't know people were doing Herald Cheese with Armor Explosion. That's cool.
Yeah, it's been a thing since last patch, actually, or last league.
Do you guys reckon that's going to be nerfed? They've taken Herald chaining out every single patch so far.
That's super cool.
I mean, I think they might nerf it. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I think there's a part of me that thinks that they might keep it because it was around last league and it's still around, but also part of me thinks that the reason why it exists this league is because last league the big thing was chaining with cast on X with Voltaic Mark.
Voltaic Mark with cut, yeah.
So it's like, this is the main one, so we're gonna nerf it, and then now
that's very different.
Now that this is the new
different.
Herald proliferation, they might be like, okay, you know what, this is too much. Which again,
no longer slot armor break in Heralds.
I could see them nerfing it.
Yeah, I could definitely see them nerfing it. I would suck, but and you know what's gonna get untouched? Trample Toe.
But it makes you move so slow.
That's always a thing.
Not this.
It's always a thing, but I don't know. Trample Toe, in my opinion, is crazier than any Herald out there.
I remember that in the 0.1 builds with the Temporalis Auto Blink Bombers using Trample Toe and Ice Wall, and they were like just the GPU melter builds that would just trash a boss, but your PC would set on fire halfway through.
That was like the first true one-shot build.
Yeah.
It was like the first true pinnacle boss one-shot build where everyone just lost their absolute mind of the oh my god, Zesht is just gone, and
Van Zesht, like Frost will just blink across him and he's just gone. Yeah.
Gone.
Temporalis
every
is all
now
of a
and
sudden.
then he gets frenzy charges. Oh wow, that was a pretty damn fast single target. Every now and then he gets a frenzy charge to empower his whirling.
Is that a base run or normal Zarok?
Let's see. It is a normal.
Yeah, no, he does them. He normally does them to set up test of time barriers and then sell them. That's what he does. He set the build up for that. I think this is a full run though.
Yeah. But do you know how every now and then he gets frenzy charges in this build?
Probably from charge proliferation on something. He's probably got it socketed on something.
Because that's the big thing with Whirling Slash is that you can use your Whirlwind Spear to make it grow to a larger area of effect. If you use a Frenzy Charge infused Whirling Spear is what he's doing every now and then. He doesn't do it all the time, but he does it every now and then.
I think it's from charge proliferation. I don't think it's from anything specific.
Got it.
He's in your YouTube chat, so he can clarify.
I don't.
In Miso's YouTube.
I see. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Victor might be lurking around in one of the chats. Yeah, I haven't got Chrome open in a desperate attempt to save my PC.
What do you say, Rabbit?
Comment on the VOD.
Yeah, he's in chat right now. 2 snipers mark in a charge shot and coaling strike with unique support that gives you power charge.
Yeah, at least chimes.
Got it.
Cool. Well, Rabbit's got to go, so let's wrap this up.
I guess.
Farham, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you. Everything you do for the community.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the RAM issues or the VRAM issues or whatever issues are going on. It's obviously
you're good,
too
man.
Much. PC got too excited.
Understandable.
Wait, did something happen?
No, nothing happened. No, it's been fine.
No.
There are no tech issues at all tonight, man. It's been perfect. Thank you. I haven't been frustrated and wanting to kick my PC at all.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much for having me on, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
We'll have you back, man. Shout outs.
Yeah, I mean, to all the guys in the community that have helped me put together the investigation that we put in this league, like Yoshi, Danny, Victor, they've been there, Gondi, through and through, helping me actually do these tests, and couldn't have done it without them. So, thank you very much to those guys.
Right on. Rabbit.
Hello. Shout out to my family.
Your wife.
Congrats on her passing her test.
My wife just she is officially dentist today. Officially today. So yeah, big shout out. Big shout out to the provider in the family from now on. So my stream schedule now is I stream every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10:30. So you can watch me on twitch.tv/deadrabbit for 1 hour every week now, because I don't have to make money now. I'm kidding. I'm streaming PoE2. I'm streaming PoE2 every single day. League is a little bit dead state right now. I'm gonna be on vacation for the in like almost all of November. I will be in Sweden, and yeah, but then yeah, I otherwise streaming Path of Exile 2 every single day on my Twitch.
Awesome. Yeah. As per usual, twitch.tv MeSelectShiro, YouTube MeSelectShiro, stream every single day. I will be streaming PoE1 starting probably around the moment that the league comes out on Friday. So that'll be a lot of fun. Drops enabled, by the way. So anybody who needs their drops, come on in, hang out, get your drops, because it's probably going to be they haven't announced the drops yet, but I'm sure they're going to have drops. So it's going to be able to be used in both Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2. So come hang out.
Well, I don't think I'll be streaming any PoE1, but I'll be playing it. Might see some form of post from me later, just talking about my journey or something. But next week we are announcing a cool little event on the podcast, so just make sure you tune in to next week's episode. We're going to be doing something cool with Mobalytics. So yeah,
there will be prizes.
See you guys next week. There will be prizes and stuff.
There will be prizes. We're doing fun things. That's what people want to know.
Prizes?
There will be prizes, everyone. You can for first place. I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but first place is a soft kiss on the cheek from Miso X Shiro.
Whoa, you're turning people off at this point now.
No, wait, I'm gonna. My whole community are gonna be coming along.
This is how you got me on the podcast. What do you mean, turning people off?
Where's the bit of the soft kiss on the cheek?
Scammed? Wait, did I get scammed?
Have you not got your soft kiss on the cheek yet?
No, I have.
Oh, good.
Trust me.
Well,
I have.
next week you'll find out what we're talking about. Bye.
All right, see you, folks. Peace
Thanks, everyone,
out.
guys. Bye.